feel life's more interesting when you make a splash.
It's the right beer now.
If you feel a great beer starts with great water.
It's the right beer now.
Because you're the kind of person who likes to get to the bottom of things. Call for the...
At New Mexico State. With the opening kickoff just moments away, let's send you back to Las Cruces, where Steve and Randy have a look at some of the key matchups.
Thank you, Ralph. And two things that Fresno State wants to be able to do in this football game is remain consistent and stay healthy as they head to the California Raisin Bowl date in December with the MAC champion. But when you talk about consistency, that means they want to do the things that they've done well all season long, and that means run the football. And when you talk about running the football, you talk about Aaron Craver, number 5.
Well, that's going to be a record game for Craver. He needs just over 50 yards to set the individual record at Fresno State. Another 100-yard effort would seem in the offering as well, and he'll be the first player in Fresno State history to have 8 100-yard rushing plus games. I think he'll do both those things, and he'll probably do them quickly. 8 players already this year have run for 100 or better against New Mexico State. Craver will probably be number 9.
And Mike Pringle last week, 357 yards, ties an NCAA Division I record. But how contrasting are these two teams? Well, Fresno State is one of 4 teams unbeaten this year, and they join the ranks of some talented teams like Alabama, Colorado, and Notre Dame. Meantime, you take a look at the winless teams. These are the unbeatens. Fresno State right on top of the pack with Notre Dame, Colorado, and Alabama. But how about the winless teams this year? There are 4 of those as well, and the team from Las Cruces is right there at the top.
Well, you see New Mexico State, Northwestern, Temple, and Kent State. If you want to take it a little bit further, Division I AA. Columbia's 0-8, and Austin Peay is 0-9. So there's actually a couple other guys for New Mexico State. So Misery Love's a little bit more confident.
All right, we hope to have a good one here in Las Cruces. It's Fresno State going against New Mexico State. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this. Back live at Aggie Memorial Stadium in Las Cruces, New Mexico. It's New Mexico State against the Big West champion Fresno State Bulldogs. Fresno State extended their school record win streak to 16 consecutive games after beating San Jose State 31-30 last week. The man kicking off, number 10, Dot Lee, maybe the best kicker in the Big West Conference. And back deep to return, number 25, Tim Lewis, and number 13, Kelvin Means. Both outstanding return artists. Means, number 13, had a brilliant evening last week against San Jose State and is 5th in the nation, averaging just under 28 yards per kickoff return. Dot Lee waiting for the kickoff. So he is a powerful young kicker out of Wichita Southeast High School, was a tremendous soccer star there. And then when Wichita State University dropped their football program, well, Dot Lee made the transfer and came here to New Mexico State. Well, Fresno State, they have never lost to New Mexico State. Their record is 8-0 against the Aggies. It has been a difficult time for the Aggies this year. Mike Knowles' record in his career is 4 wins and 38 losses. And here you'll see maybe a trick play that the New Mexico State Aggies like to pull off. Let's see if it will be Dot Lee kicking it to himself. No. Instead, he will go with a short kick about the 20-yard line. It's taken at the 22, and here comes Fresno State back up field and near the 38-yard line. So the Bulldogs will start their offense like this. They will have it, the quarterback position, Mark Barsotti, and what a splendid year Barsotti has had this year. He has thrown 197 passes for just under 1,500 yards, 8 interceptions, and 14 touchdowns. And Barsotti will go in the backfield with Aaron Craver and Myron Jones. There's a look at Barsotti's numbers. Wide receivers to either side, Shelley and Pickens, and Barsotti wants to go deep. He's in trouble, and down he goes. The sack by New Mexico State. And they came blitzing from both sides. Ty Bell and Lauren Dunlap there to meet him, and Dunlap is the guy who gets credit for the sack. Craver, Jones, Shelley, Pickens, and Bartleski, the backs and receivers for Fresno State. And on the offensive line, Lujan, Vial, a fine offensive guard, Ewing, Melvin Johnson, the freshman, and Mike Faust will set the defense after this play. This is Myron Jones trying the middle. He breaks back upfield. A big opening out near the 45-yard line. About a 10-yard gain. It'll be shy of the first down by about 3 yards, bringing up 3rd down and 3. Lolo James making the tackle for the Aggies. And defensively, Michael Banks, Bill Sturzill, Astrizon And the linebackers will be Ryder, Bell, and Dickey. And the defensive back, James, Paul, Parks, and Ragsdale. Fresno State going for the first down, and Aaron Craver getting the carry out near the first down, but he looks like he'll be short just by about a yard. Now decision time for Fresno State and coach Jim Sweeney.
About this time last week, late in the game, though, against San Jose State, 4th and 1, he had enough confidence to go with the offense, and he goes with it. 4th and 1, he's going to go for it. You got to like that confidence in the offensive team.
They'll go with the wishbone, double tight end, and they'll give that football to Myron Jones, who muscles ahead for the first down, down inside New Mexico State territory to the 45-yard line.
Myron Jones, not 100%, was banged up against San Jose State, but he's gotten the call 3 straight times for the Bulldogs in this opening drive. And it's nice when you can have that kind of confidence in your ground game to overcome a 2nd and 15 on the ground with 3 runs by Jones. As you can see, the Bulldogs have dominated this series.
Garcetti inside handoff. Aaron Craver slides to the 40-yard line before he's wrapped up by Sam Dickey and Ty Bell. They have 3 very good linebackers in David Ryder, Ty Bell, and Dickey. And Dickey, the premier linebacker on this football team with already 149 tackles. But this is an explosive offense. And after the 6-yard run by Craver, it brings up a 2nd and 4. Now Craver will go and dot the I, and he will get the pitch, sweeps the left side. He'll turn the corner, first down, out of bounds near the 25-yard line. Well, it's the left side of that offensive line doing the damage. Guys like Jesse Hardwick and Paul Viol.
On the pitch here, the deep pitch to Craver. Watch number 40. Well, you didn't see it in the picture there. Myron Jones cleaning traffic. He laid down a great block, enabling Craver to turn the corner. Parker Ragsdale finally brought him down, but a nice effort there by Aaron Craver.
So it's a first down just inside the 25-yard line. Shelley to the left, handoff Myron Jones. Again, a good gain of about 2-3 yards down near the 22-yard line. See where they place his forward progress. But Jones, who is plus 700 yards this year, 725 coming into the game, and of course Craver with the 1,061 and coming in just 50 shy of tying the record of James Williams in 1985.
Well, Jim Sweeney knows full well that the Aggie defense gives up 305 yards a game rushing, and he's keeping it on the ground.
On 2nd and 7, Jones again inside the 20 down to the 19. So it'll bring up 3rd down, but Jones now has 1,497 yards. He's the 6th career rushing leader in Fresno State history. And those were his numbers coming into this evening's ball game. 11 touchdowns. That's what stands out the most. When he has gotten the football inside the 10-yard line, but he smells out that goal line.
Interesting call here. 3rd down and a long 3. So pass or run. You probably think run the way they've been moving the football on the ground.
And the way New Mexico State plays defense against the run. So Craver gets it, 10-yard line to the 5, touchdown. Craver from 19 yards out, and he is closing in very quickly on that all-time Bulldog rushing record.
And for Aaron Craver, his 7th rushing touchdown this year, and the Bulldogs make it look easy. 3 carries, 40 yards on the drive for Craver. Great blocking up front. Early lead for the visiting Bulldogs.
And Steve Loop on for the point after. It is up, and it is through. And Fresno State on their first possession takes a 7-0 lead on the New Mexico State Aggies. We'll come back with more college football in Las Cruces after this. Nothing lead over New Mexico State. They took just 3:55 to make it, and it was Aaron Craver, 3 carries, 40 yards, a 19-yard touchdown run, and he now has 1,101 yards rushing in his career, just 10 away from tying James Williams, 11 away from breaking the all-time Fresno State rushing record. And the kick by Steve Loop here in this, well, a little bit of high altitude, and he blasted about 4 yards deep in the end zone. So it will be New Mexico State's first possession on offense, and they will start at quarterback Phil Vinson, number 8. And Phil Vinson, 6'2", 189-pound senior, or number 3, excuse me, Phil Vincent from Los Angeles, California, out of Hamilton High School. He's thrown for 1,560 yards this year. And from the 20-yard line, he will start things and give the football straight up the middle and going to Eddie McDew.
And you can see Mike Knoll immediately trying something different. They came out without the huddle. They'll use various formations, and they will run quickly and try to deceive this Fresno State defense.
A gain of 1 yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And McDew Singleton will be in the backfield. The receivers are Warren Thomas and Williams. Lorenzo Di Lorenzo is their best offensive lineman. You've got Miles in the middle, who does a fine job as well, and then Rogers, who is their best run offensive tackle as well. And there's the sack by Fresno State, so it'll be 3rd down and long for the Aggies.
Ron Cox, 23.5 sacks this year, and he introduces himself quickly to Phil Vincent, the quarterback of the Aggies. Cox with great speed from the outside. Only one-on-one blocking. Normally you need 2 guys to try to stop Cox from the outside in a passing situation.
Well, he'll be throwing the ball again, I would imagine, because they need some help. Mike Richmond will go to the left, and Benny Thomas, one of the top receivers all time, comes to the right. They'll go with a slot back left side. And now in motion goes the slot man, Jim Williams, and they hand off straight up the middle, again going with that crazy formation. And instead of throwing the football, they try and surprise Fresno State, and with the speed of the interior of Fresno State's defense, that's not likely going to fool the Bulldogs. It doesn't this time, and Mike Knoll's team faces a 4th down and 12.
Went with the fullback, Eddie McDew, normally a short yardage runner, and they needed 14 yards. You're not going to get it with Eddie McDew going up the middle.
Garrett Henson is the punter, and he blasts it to Dwight Pickens, who calls for the fair catch and makes it to the 45-yard line, as Fresno State had the entire rush coming, trying to block the punt, put this ball game out of contention early if they were able to do that. But here they go, their 2nd possession, and Barsotti, who drove his troops in just inside 4 minutes, 62 yards for the first touchdown, will have it again.
Well, you had to like what you saw, too, if you're a Bulldog supporter. After an emotional victory against San Jose State, come out here, take control early, just drive the ball for a quick touchdown. Excellent field position, their 2nd effort.
Look at this. Craver has gone wide to the right side, and Barsotti to throw down the middle. Pickens, almost a spectacular catch, but it is knocked down at the 40-yard line. Mark Barsotti, a lot like he has done in recent weeks. His first couple of passes are usually too tall because he's a little excited about starting.
Nearly a marvelous catch, though. Then it hit the helmet of David Ryder, and it was up for grabs, and number 43, Sam Dickey, nearly had an interception. But look at that effort by Pickens with the left hand.
Oh, he got belted as well by Parker Ragsdale. Leads the team in interceptions with 4. Back to the eye. They'll go back and throw that football, but Barsotti will toss it downfield. Almost a completion to Rich Bartleski inside the 40-yard line, but he can't hold on. So it's incomplete. 3rd down, 10 yards to go.
Mark Barsotti would have been better served, as you look at Jim Swinney already with back-to-back conference titles. Barsotti would have been better served to tuck that one under. He had a lot of room in front of him. And there's the opposing number of Jim Swinney. Mike Knoll, 4-38. Under fire here at New Mexico State. His contract, his 4-year contract, runs out December 1st. A lot of people feel it will not be renewed.
Bulldogs needing 10 on 3rd down. Barsotti is a man he can dump it off to, but he gets sacked here at the 40-yard line.
Mark Barsotti is sacked by Bill Sturzel.
Bill Sturzel, first man to get there, and they're saying it was a fumble, and the football is New Mexico State's. I thought Barsotti was down.
Good pass rush from the Aggies. The 2nd time this afternoon they're able to get to Barsotti, and you can see the ball come out as Sturzel hits Mark Barsotti, and it's recovered by the Aggies. So an opportunity for the underdogs, trailing 7-0. Now they have field position in Bulldog territory.
Lauren Dunlap was the man who made the recovery. Defensive coordinator shouting out the instructions and the encouragement to his football team. And again, the no huddle look. They're trying to catch Fresno State out of defensive position. Vincent lines them up, pro set. He looks deep. He's in trouble again. Has to scramble to his left side. Ruggiero in pursuit, and Vincent goes down after a very short loss in the play of about a yard.
Good containment by the defense. Phil Vincent has excellent speed, 4.5 in the 40. Chased out of the pocket by Cox and Ruggiero. You can see him outrun Ruggiero to the outside, but Pete Jenkins holding his ground well. You see the linebacker right there, and he plugged up the play. That's good defense, spreading out the offense.
Vincent, his numbers before this football game. A loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Williams flip-flops tight end left to the right side. And they'll run the football to Marvin Johnson. Barely gets back to the original line of scrimmage, at being the 40-yard line, maybe an additional yard inside to the 39.
That
Phil Vincent has showed remarkable poise this year to keep his football team in contention early in games.
See, I was going to say that offensive line right now is not blocking the Bulldogs. They're getting off the ball, they're getting penetration, and it's going to make it very difficult, no matter what kind of talent Phil Vincent is, to move the team unless he gets support up front.
Young offensive line that is not nearly that big. Vincent again back to throw, dumps it off, incomplete. He had his man Anthony Singleton right there, and a flag goes down in the defensive backfield.
It's a ball that should have been caught. Singleton is wide open. He just lost his concentration. Ball's right there. You got to make that catch in Division I football. And there was nobody around him. He had some room to roam.
You know, this football team has been in games this year. They barely lost to the University of Texas El Paso, one of their arch rivals, 29-27. Only lost 26-14 to Vegas. Lost 55-48 to Long Beach State. So they have been in a lot of games this year, but we have a holding call here to give them added life. Defensive holding call, so it'll be an automatic first down. And Vincent moves his club inside the 30-yard line of Fresno State. Bulldogs leading 7-0 with 7:30 to play, first period. Vincent has time, looks deep, now goes over the middle, and no one was there. He was just unloading that. He was trying to hit Jim Williams, but with 3 white jerseys in the area of Jim Williams, it was going to be an incomplete pass one way or the other.
Well, the linebacker Jeff Thiessen was coming in on that occasion, and nobody blocked him, and Vincent's lucky he wasn't sacked.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Leaving the game, Mike Richmond. New Mexico State University's rushing -2 yards through the first 7 minutes of this college football game in Las Cruces. 2 running backs, no tight end, and there to really unload on Vincent was Marquez Pope, blitzing from his safety position, and Vincent could only unload it as he tried to throw the football. Right in his face was Pope.
Vincent's thinking it's tough enough when you see the front 7. Now they're bringing the defensive secondary as well. The free safety Marquez Pope, he's a hitter. He showed that last week against San Jose State. All but took Phil Vincent's head off.
I thought Marquez Pope played perhaps his best game of his young career last week. And these are the all-time career passing leaders, and Charlie Johnson and Joe Pisarcik have NFL backgrounds, but Vincent right among them and nearing the 4,000-yard level. Third down. Vincent, quick pass, right side, incomplete. Wanted to go Jim Williams, but all over was Jeff Thiessen.
And you can see Vincent has no time to set up. Quick 3-step drops and short patterns. He has no field to play with. It's going to be short stuff for Vincent unless he gets blocking in that front wall.
So here is Dot Lee. The longest field goal in his career is 49 yards. This will be from about 47. Left hash mark. Almost no wind here in Las Cruces. Fresno State can really rush the kicker, and there's the block, and a flag is down, and Pope was there. Was that James Williams? It is lost out of bounds at the 50-yard line, but flags all over the field. 3 flags down. But Williams, who has 10 block kicks in his career, may have been the man rushing in from that left side. And that was James Williams. He is so explosive. It's a legal procedure against the offense, so it's Fresno State football and 7-0 Bulldogs leading.
Illegal procedure assessed against the Aggies.
The 11th in his career block kick, either a punt or a field goal in his career. Fresno State has the football at the 49-yard line of the Aggies, and Williams got in that backfield so quickly you thought it might have been offsides against Fresno State, but that wasn't the case. They get the block kick. They have 49 yards to go for their second touchdown, leading here 7-0, and Myron Jones gets the first call in a short gain for Myron.
Well, New Mexico State, they want to stop the ground game and force this guy, Mark Barsotti, to beat him in the air. On that earlier drive, they did not stop the ground attack, and Craver went 19 yards for a touchdown, but you'll see 6, 7, 8 guys creep up near the line of scrimmage now.
Gain of 2, second down and 8. Fresno State, well, there's the total offense, -1 for New Mexico State. Jones off the right side. Again, he slides forward for maybe 1, but the New Mexico State, particularly the ends Lauren Dunlap and Michael Banks, have done a nice job containing Fresno State. The one time they got outside, well, Aaron Craver burnt them badly for 19 yards in the score.
And they really like Michael Banks. You'll see him today. He's just a freshman, number 96, All-State in New Mexico last year. His coach, Mike Knowles, says in 2 years he'll be an all-conference football player. So we'll see a lot of him today.
Running backs, Craver right, Jones left, pro set, receivers to either side. Third down, Bulldogs need 7. Barsotti to throw, downfield he goes, incomplete, intended for Stephen Shelley, 25-yard line. And Shelley is still down on the field. He's slow in getting up, but Mark Barsotti, his first passes of this ball game, again too tall.
Well, he's excited about playing against New Mexico State, and he's throwing it a little bit too tall here, a little too high. You can get your receivers hurt doing that, and you leave the body open when you throw it up like that. As you can see, that was some hit by Parker Ragsdale.
5:58 to play. First quarter of action. 7-0 Bulldogs. He's passed too tall. It results in Stephen Shelley going up for it and getting drilled on the chin and lower lip by a New Mexico State defensive back. So Shelley is getting tended to, and Fresno State is forced to punt it away. Lance Oberparleiter, who in my opinion is the best punter in the Big West Conference this year. His numbers may not show it, but watch him the way he touches that football right here. He'll try and work it inside the 10-yard line. Another beautiful punt. It will drop at the 3, and there it is. Once again, only 9 of his punts have been returned this year. He has now 6 punts inside the 5-yard line. He has done a brilliant job. 8 punts now inside the 5-yard line, and that's why he should be first team all Big West.
None was prettier than that one. He just lifted it high into this New Mexico blue sky, and he had linebacker Mike Berg come down there and just tap it down at the 2. That was a thing of beauty.
Well, Randy, tonight you'll be able to hustle back to the KMPH area and watch at 5 o'clock. Harrison becoming involved with a hostage from the planet Eamon on War of Worlds, followed by Star Trek at 6 o'clock on your station, KMPH Fox 26. Back to live action. This is running back Eddie McDew, who's run out of bounds past the 5-yard line. Nick Ruggiero, he's always sideline to sideline. Does not have the speed or the size, or maybe even the strength of the great defensive ends, but he will be in on many, many plays and probably be on the all Big West team this year.
Has a big heart, a walk-on out of Las Vegas, Nevada, who's one of Jim Sweeney's favorite players.
Jim Sweeney says you will find no more determined defensive lineman in this league than number 77. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. McDew again nearing the 10-yard line before he is hauled down by Fresno State. And it was their interior linebackers who again look like Devon Edwards and Eric Tanavasa. But Eddie McDew, interesting story. 6-year Army veteran, was recruited by Auburn, Alabama, Mississippi State. There's a look at Fresno State's linebackers. But McDew decided he was not ready for college football. Went to the service, has come out, and here he is in New Mexico State, and he is only a 26-year-old junior.
It's a long layoff, but he's performed fairly well for Mike Knoll. They're pleased with his progress.
3rd down and 3. Williams in motion, McDew again, and McDew has the first down. And there's a flag near the tackle, out near the 15-yard line. And it's their first down they've been able to make by way of the run.
But it's not going to count. Jack Gatto says there's a holding infraction. Pretty good blockade on the left side. Maybe that's why. And Eddie McDew is able to come through before the linebackers can chase him down. He's a hard runner. He's going to get you 2 or 3 yards at a crack. He's normally not going to bust the big one for you. But when you have a 3rd and short like that last situation, he's the guy to go to. But the penalty now is going to put them in an awful situation.
But that also puts them in a good situation for next year with McDew coming back with Marvin Johnson, 2 very talented running backs.
That's not their greatest area of concern, though, Steve. As we look at this football team, they're just not blocking offensively, and they're not tackling. Well, they're trying to tackle a little bit on defense, but not with great success. They need athletes on the defensive and offensive front lines.
Well, it's 3rd down here, and the Aggies need 8 yards to go. They'll send 2 receivers wide right. Williams tight end right. McDew again. McDew nearing a 1st down, but he went out of bounds near the 13-yard line. Tell you, that young man run hard.
Well, you can see while 6 years ago is a long time, how he would be recruited by some of the big guys, the Mississippi States and the Auburns of the world, a Southeastern Conference type running back. Now he's going to come up a little bit short, which really has to irritate Mike Knoll, coming off right by the flag there and not getting the 1st down stakes, but still a nice effort.
So that means Henson comes back in to punt it to Dwight Pickens, one of the nation's best in punt returns. And almost there to block the punt was James Williams. He already has a field goal to his credit. Here comes Pickens trying to backtrack. Now tries the middle and slammed down near the 47-yard line.
Still excellent field position for the Bulldogs.
Time out of the field. 3:44 to play. 1st quarter. Fresno State 7. New Mexico State nothing. A crowd of about 2,000 to 3,000 here, Randy Rosenblum. And last night it was difficult to head down the road because Las Cruces was playing Las Cruces Mayfield in a high school football game that had 15,000 people.
Those teams win. Right now, New Mexico State is not winning, and that's the reason they're not drawing.
Fresno State will throw the football, and Myron Jones is really drilled at midfield. Mike Hall, the cornerback.
Well, that's the way to hit people. Myron Jones feeling the effects of it out of the right flat. And you're going to see 24 just put the body into him and just drill him. That's good football. Mike Hall, 6 foot, 195-pound senior out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, leveling Myron Jones. They say he's one of the quickest players on defense for the Aggies, and he was quick to the ball, and he lowered the boom on Myron Jones, who's going to have to shake away those cobwebs.
Paul Schechter and Ed Ferraro right down there to help Myron Jones up, but Myron will come to the sideline, and it looked like Paul Schechter was saying, how many fingers am I holding up? And when he said 11, he said, go to the sideline.
You know, that's
Mike
a pretty
Hall.
good secondary, Steve, here at New Mexico State. They're veteran players, and the problem's been the front 7. They've had no support, but the secondary's done its job.
Gain of 4, 2nd down, 6 yards to go. 2nd back through Craver, 45-yard line, and there's the flag again. A lot of flags early in this ball game, several against the Aggies early to stop drives by New Mexico State, and this one will be holding against Fresno State. So take away the run from Aaron Craver, and he remains 11 yards shy of breaking James Williams' 1985 record of rushing in a single season, 1,111 yards. Craver has 7 100-yard rushing games this year. That tied Williams' 85 record. If he gets 100 today, number 8 will break that mark. Dwight Pickens leaves the game. Chris Gawley is in. And after the holding call, it is 2nd down, 17 yards to go. Stephen Shelley and Chris Gawley come wide left. Adrian Cooks, Aaron Craver are the running backs. Bardleski tight end. Barsotti dumps it off. Aaron Craver. He's to the 40. He muscles by one man and is up to the 45-yard line. So he gets about 5 yards back. And it will be 3rd down and long.
Just want to get the ball there and Craver in the open field, but the Aggies did a nice job there defensively. David Ryder from the secondary, number 9, coming over to make the hit on Craver, but that's the Bulldog strategy. Get Craver some room to roam. That time the Aggies able to close it off.
Barsotti, who has struggled through the air in the early goings. We'll see if he can complete this one on a 3rd and 12, or Jim Sweeney may try and surprise them with a draw. He'll throw, and Barsotti looks downfield, has his man, completes the pass to Stephen Shelley, and Shelley is there at the 32-yard line. First down, Fresno State.
And it's good to see Stephen Shelley back in the ball game. He was shaken up earlier when he took that hit from Parker Ragsdale. But this time, Barsotti right on target. Shelley's going to bobble it a little bit. There was some bit of conjecture on the sideline whether he was able to get the ball on the foot down, and he did. That's a good call. A good throw there from Mark Barsotti, and a key first down on this drive to keep the drive going. And you can see those guys in the secondary. That was Parker Ragsdale again. They like to tag you.
They'll go with Craver. He juggles that football to the 30 and out of bounds near the 25. Gain of 7 yards by Aaron Craver, so he's 4 away from breaking the record.
And he bobbled the ball as he was turning the corner. There was no Aggies in the area, though, to come up and greet him while he was bobbling it, because that big offensive front had walled them off.
Well, a nice, healthy 12-yard average for Aaron Craver.
Was it Darren Brightman of UNLV against this New Mexico State team? Carried it 11 times for 183 yards.
This is Myron Jones trying the middle to the 20. Breaks by his man, and he will go for the score. 25-yard run by Myron Jones, and that with Craver's 19-yarder, and it's a 13-0 Fresno State lead.
The Aggie weakness has been giving up touchdowns on the ground. This is number 31 on the year. Craver was number 30. Here's 31. Those numbers for Myron Jones aren't bad either. 8 for 53. He always seems to find a way to get in the end zone. Myron Jones.
And Steve Loop will try and make it 14-0, and he does. Bulldogs with 1:59 left, first quarter, are leading 14-0 over New Mexico State in a ball game that was expected to be a runaway by Fresno State. And you have to say that because the team on top there, Fresno State, with a record of 9-0, New Mexico State, one of 4 winless teams in Division I college football this year.
Their streak, 15 consecutive losses, is the longest losing streak in America. So you know that the Bulldogs and those running backs, Jones and Craver, licking their chops to run against this defense. But this is a pretty good job of running, too, getting to the outside, getting around Parker Ragsdale, and then there's nobody left. The secondary was wiped out clean, and Myron takes it into the end zone. A good block outside from Stephen Shelley, and it's touchdown Bulldogs.
Jones, 22 career touchdowns. That ties James Williams for 5th place in the Fresno State career charts. So Steve Loop will kick it off again. Second time he has done so today. And back deep for the Aggies. Richard Sanchez, Alvin Warren. And this will be Alvin Warren. He wants to bring it out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and there he's down. Eric Martin finally brought down the very dangerous Alvin Warren. Phil Vincent jogs out to start the team's offense. He has had his team inside Fresno State territory all the way to the 29-yard line, but on a 47-yard field goal attempt, Dot Lee's field goal was blocked by James Williams. Bulldogs have stretched their margin out to 14-0. 1 receiver to the right side, 2 left. Vincent sends Williams in motion, drops back to throw. Here comes Ron Cox. There's the pass, incomplete. Fine coverage from Devon Edwards and David Shelton.
And Vincent threw that one into traffic, feeling the heat. And he wanted to go to his tight end, who's been a very good football player for him. Williams has caught 36 passes this season, but Vincent has yet to hit a receiver. He's 0 for 4.
Closing moments of the first period. 14-0, Fresno State leading. Going wide left is Benny Thomas. Joining him, Jim Williams. That's the difference they're doing this year. They're not leaving any tight end in to block. Everybody is going out wide, and again Williams is in motion. The way Fresno State blitzes, and here they come again. They'll dump it off. Marvin Johnson, he has the first down. Johnson to the 40. Marvin Johnson out of bounds near midfield.
This is a nice play by the New Mexico State Aggies, sending Johnson across the field. You see him come out? from the right to the left, getting isolation from the linebacker Tanavasa, and he beat him to the spot, and across the field David Shelton had to come over from his safety spot to deny it, and maybe deny New Mexico State a tremendously long game. Shelton may have been the last guy, although there was Marquez Pope too, but that's a good effort for the Aggies.
So from the 47-yard line, 1st and 10. Vincent again, this time goes Singleton, left side, nothing there. Devon Edwards on the tackle. And Fresno State will close out their year next season, regular season style, against New Mexico at Albuquerque. And I know Albuquerque has had a tough time winning football games this year, but at home they've been very good. And right now they are ahead of Utah at Salt Lake City at the half, 14-11. And for some people that's a surprise, but not in New Mexico. They think New Mexico is a very improving football team. Other surprising scores, you find Minnesota leading Michigan State 7-6 in the 3rd. Marvin Johnson with the catch near the 45-yard line before Thiessen makes the tackle, and a flag goes down.
And the flag was thrown on the Aggie offensive backfield where they were trying to block Ron Cox. That's never an easy assignment, and they held Ron Cox. Even with the double team, Cox able to rush through it, and somebody got a grasp of him, and they're going to ticket New Mexico State.
Marvin Johnson started earlier this year in Peoria, Arizona. He ran for 511 yards last year, but came into this contest, really limited. He was under 200 yards rushing. Part of that was responsible for Anthony Singleton. The other reason, he had a rough game against Oklahoma, and they didn't play him much after that.
Yeah, he didn't impress Mike Knoll in the Oklahoma game. I don't know who did. They lost 73-3 to the Sooners. But anyway, Johnson took the brunt of Knoll's attack, and he sat him down for 3 consecutive games, although he did come back last week, and Mr. Johnson performed quite well. He had his best game of the year, rushing for 67 yards on 14 carries, but he's had somewhat of a disappointing year.
45 seconds remaining. First period, 14-0 Bulldogs. 2nd down, 18 yards to go. One lone setback, slot back right side, and there go the flags again. Well, there are 4 Big West Conference games today. Long Beach State is at Cal State Fullerton. That's later today. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas is at Nevada Reno, which is always an outstanding affair. Pacific is at Hawaii, and going on right now, San Jose State is at Utah State. They are scoreless in the 2nd quarter. So maybe a letdown for the Spartans after being knocked off by Fresno State last week, 31-30 in the grudge match.
And Utah State's won its last 2 games under Chuck Shelton, and with the young quarterback Kirk Johnson, they're building some confidence.
They need 23 yards for the 1st down. Vincent looking, and there's Ron Cox, and down goes Vincent. So it'll be 3rd down and a mile. I'm telling you what, this guy 54 is amazing. 24.5 sacks, leads the country in sacks.
This is coming over the top. He's blocked over the top, and boom, right through the block. It didn't matter.
Well, if you're going to hold me, I'm just going to reverse myself on top of you. And Cox gets the sacks, and Fresno State has the lead. Is the Irishman Jim Sweeney, went over the 150 win mark in his career a couple of weeks ago, looking for number 96 at Fresno State today, the 20th winningest active coach in college football. 152 wins, 117 losses, and 2 ties. If you get a look at that left hand of his, he has that big California Bowl champion ring on, and he wants his 4th one in December against the MAC champion. Delightful guy to be around, great motivator for college football players. And that's why they're able to recruit well in Fresno, California, and win well.
It's been a long time, Steve, since coach has been able to move his team to 7-0 or perfect records in conference play on back-to-back seasons. Jim Sweeney, with the victory today, would have undefeated conference seasons 2 years in a row. The last time it was done, San Jose State in 75 and 76.
We begin the 2nd quarter. And Vincent in trouble. Cox there again. He'll get a hurry on that one, and Williams makes the catch, but it is about 25 yards shy of the 1st down. So Williams making the catch. Cox getting the hurry. And it's 4th down, and that means Henson will come on to punt. And you know all about his sacks, but he has like 22 hurries this year. And that's one of them.
He hurried him, but he took an inside route. He stunted with the defensive end Ruggiero, and he had a free lane to the quarterback.
Pretty good kick by Henson. Pickens will go with it. Pickens up the field. Pickens with great blocking. Pickens to the 50. Dwight Pickens will go all the way. Touchdown, Fresno State. 74 yards.
Returned by Dwight Pickens for the touchdown.
Well, Dwight Pickens, the best in the Big West at returning punts, one of the nation's leaders, and he turns a nice tune toward Bulldog fans. They got to like that. He was ranked 10th in the nation coming in, 13.5 average on the returns, and that's all but going to improve now. Nice effort by Dwight Pickens, good blocking, and an easy score on the big play for the Bulldogs.
They take a great deal of pride in their special teams at Fresno State. 75 yards, they will call it, on Dwight Pickens' touchdown return. And it means Steve Loop will come on for the point after touchdown. And the score is now 20-0. Bulldogs leading. There is a timeout on the field. And the last time a Fresno State player returned a punt for a touchdown, it was Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. Now the New York Giants, he did it against UNLV in the Silver Bowl back in 1986, November 6th, to win 65 yards. That was almost 3 years ago to the day.
Well, the Aggies are being pushed around the field, and it could get ugly at this point. It's 20-0 early for the Bulldogs, and you can see that we have upcoming on KMPH. Steve, do the honors here.
All right, it's the War of the Worlds, Star Trek and Star Trek PH Fox 26. Steve Loop on for the point after touchdown. It is up, it is good, it is 21-0. We have 14:38 to play in the half, and the Bulldogs are bombing the Aggies. 13.5 to about 17 yards per return, and that will up his feature in the punt return situation in the national rankings. He came in 10th in the nation in punt return. He got some great blocking, made some nifty moves, and watch the way he fakes out number 11, the punter, on his touchdown run of 75 yards.
Garrett Henson, number 11, just whoop, can't get to him, and Dwight's got the corner, and he's going to go the distance, 75, and the touchdown.
Now, I remember when I used to broadcast for Kansas State University, and we would play Oklahoma and get bombed by that football team. And I did it with an old buddy of mine named John Cadillac, offensive line coach from Missouri. And he used to say, Steve, speed will kill you, brother. Speed, that's the difference. You got to have speed. And right now, Fresno State has it, and New Mexico State does not.
The Aggies don't have as much speed as Fresno State, Steve, but they also don't have the offensive line that the Bulldogs have had throughout this year, and that Bulldog offensive line has blown out New Mexico State in the latter part of that first quarter.
14:38 play in the first half. Williams again in motion. Vincent on the option, keeps it, and he's drilled down by Naeem Shaw. Is that Marquez Pope as well? Naeem Shaw.
A little bit different wrinkle with the quarterback option, running down the line, looking to pitch it, but you want to have Vincent rush the football if you're a New Mexico State supporter, because he has such excellent speed and he has the ability to run 4.5 in the 40, but it's going to be difficult against that tough Bulldog defense.
Aggies need 7. They go to McDoo this time, and it's read beautifully by the interior defense. Judd Fowell. Judd Fowell, the first man there, number 92.
It's fun to play defense when you have a big lead. Everybody is playing well on the offense. You're out there on the defense, and you can just tee off and go out after everybody. New Mexico State has not been able to run the ball, so you got to think they're going to have to try to throw it. But it's tough to move a football if you have no rushing attack and you're one-dimensional.
3rd down and 9. And they split everyone out. Here's the rush. Vincent with the pass. It is complete for a first down to the 45-yard line. Nicely thrown by Phil Vincent. Benny Thomas coming up with the football.
His 116th career reception. No Aggies ever caught more, and this is marvelously thrown by Vincent over the coverage of Williams. You can't put it in a better place than that. Good coverage, just a great throw.
There are NFL scouts who say the man on the bottom of that picture will be in first-round draft choice this next season. James Williams goes right left. He'll be the tight end. Vincent, handoff, McDoo, short gain to midfield.
And you can see that Noel wants to establish a ground game to keep the relentless pressure off his quarterback, Vincent. He has not been able to do that. What's kept his drives going has been the marvelous throw by Vincent and the good catch by Benny Thomas. But they do, if they're going to score points against the Bulldogs, they have to get something on the ground.
You're right, Randy. They do have the skill people, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, but it seems like defense all over defensively, and their offensive line is where they're suffering.
Well, they like their offensive tackles in Rogers and DiLorenzo, but their guards and center are not the caliber you need to play against a Fresno State.
McDoo again for a short gain.
You see, you have Vincent now in a third down situation, and he just made a great throw to pick up one on 3rd and long. But it's difficult to do this continually. 3rd and long, 3rd and long. McDoo only 19 yards and 8 rushes, further illustrating the lack of a ground game for the Aggies.
3rd down. Aggies need 4. Tight end Todd Cutler comes wide to the left. Jim Williams is off on the sideline, and here comes the pressure. There's the throw. Benny Thomas can't hold on. Coverage came from Courtney Griffin, and Thomas wanted pass interference.
And he might have a legitimate gripe. Another good throw here from Vincent, who lays it up softly. You can see 33 Griffin come over there. Nope, no interference. That is a good call.
I mean, the football was already on his hand when Griffin touched him.
He got over there. He tapped the ball away. There should not be an interference call. That's good defense.
So let's see if they try and punt this away from Fresno State, although Pickens will not be returning. Or is that Dwight? Yes, it is. Excuse me. And Dwight will call for the fair catch and make it at the 14-yard line. So it's Fresno State football. And the Bulldogs, with 11 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in this first half, are leading 21-0. Early moments of the second period. Some scores from around the country. Nebraska surprisingly only leading Kansas 16-7 in the second quarter. Missouri all over Iowa State 21-0. And Colorado leading Oklahoma State 14-10 in the second quarter. So Colorado expecting a letdown after beating up Nebraska last week and heading to the Orange Bowl, but they must beat Oklahoma State this week to continue. Barsotti down the field, throws to Bump Novacek, incomplete. Barsotti just a bit off in this ball game. He's been too tall to Pickens and Shelley twice, and now he throws off the mark to Bump Novacek, and really taking the sting of Novacek is Parker Ragsdale.
Ragsdale, transfer from Dixie Junior College, has 4 interceptions this year. He's played very well for Mike Knoll. And 6'3", 176-pound junior out of St. George, Utah. You run into Bump Novacek, you run into a load. Novacek is 6'4", 215, and very, very quick in running downfield. He really ran over Parker Ragsdale, and Mike Knoll very much concerned about his free safety. Jim Sweeney, with the 21-0 lead, has to feel good about things. He's got the big play on the punt return from Dwight Pickens, and an offensive show from his running tandem, a touchdown each for Myron Jones and Aaron Craver.
And he beat his old buddy Claude Gilbert last week in the showdown in Fresno, California, 31-30 over San Jose State. Those two always go right down to the wire. It's been that way since UNLV won years back with Randall Cunningham. Ragsdale on his feet will leave the game off to the New Mexico State sideline, and it's Bulldogs football. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. They must get to the 24 for a first down. And Barsotti will send Burnett wide to the right side. Aaron Craver is the slot man to the right. Barsotti to throw again, looking deep. He's throwing it out there. He has 2 men on him, and it's incomplete. So it's 3rd and 10, as was intended for Kelvin Means, and the safety doing a nice job picking up the play.
The Bulldogs noted for their deep threat, the streak. Deep streak with Kelvin Means, and again, the strength of the New Mexico State football team is the secondary, and they did a good job there denying Kelvin Means and Barsotti on that potential hookup.
So let's see if they go back to the air, although they'll bring their tight end in this time. Go with the I formation, pitch the football to Craver. He'll go for the record. He's to the 15. He has the Fresno State record and has the first down. Aaron Craver has just passed James Williams as the all-time rushing leader in a season at Fresno State.
Backwards football, when you think about it. You throw on first and second. You can't convert either one of those tosses. And then you have the deep pitch to Craver on 3rd and 10, and you're confident enough to pick it up. Here is a record-breaking effort for Aaron Craver, gaining 12 yards and establishing a new single-season record. He sees the hole, puts the head down, gets the first down and the mark.
1,121 yards rushing. James Williams had 1,111. Barsotti back. In trouble. Down he goes. First man there was Chad Glover. So it's 2nd down and long for Fresno State.
The Aggies have been able to get a good pass rush on Mark Barsotti. Also Bill Stursel there too. And there's the man of the moment, Aaron Craver, with the 1,121 yards. He's 9th in the nation. 6 touchdowns. You can add another one to that. He picked up his 7th already today.
Loss of 4 on the play. 2nd and 14. Craver takes the pitch on the sweep, cuts by one but can't get by another, and is knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
This is the same play that picked up the first down earlier. The deep pitch, instead of going to the right, they come back to the left. And this time the Aggies able to wall it off defensively. Everybody there for New Mexico State, and the charge was led by Ty Bell, the linebacker.
Bell, not very big, 5'11", 223, from Farmington, Minnesota. He's a walk-on last year, and now he's in the starting team as their middle backer. Bulldogs split their backs. Craver left, Jones right, and fumbling the football is Mark Barsotti, but the whistles were blowing before that. 9 minutes, 17 seconds to play here in the first half, and Fresno State leading 21-0. Jack Gatto to make the call. 5 yards against Fresno State.
Delay a game. The snap does not count. Time had expired, so that'll back the Dogs up 5 yards and make it 3rd and very long, 3rd and 19.
And Barsotti, like last week and the week before, struggling throwing the ball, just 3 of 8. He's been too long 3 different times, and now faces a 3rd and 19. Let's see if they come blitzing. They'll send one linebacker off the right side. Barsotti steps up, has to scramble upfield. It's a 4th down and punting situation.
And Bill Stursel having a big first half, number 67 for New Mexico State. No protection here for Barsotti. He's back in that pocket, and he doesn't have much time. He's got to scramble. He's got to run for his life. 67 Stursel there again, along with Lauren Dunlap, 53. Dunlap, the defensive end, pinching in, and they double team and brought down Barsotti.
And Lance Oberparleiter finally gets to air one out, and he hits a line drive kick, but it drives his return man back. He fumbles the football. Great kick by Barsotti, and great coverage by Fresno State.
The return by Richard Sanchez.
You know, Oberparleiter is only averaging 38+ yards per punt this year, but he has been so brilliant and clever inside the 10-yard line that the Bulldogs really are looking at one of the best in the conference. 21-0. Fresno State has the lead.
Bulldog.
A new quarterback. That's Phil Maloof, wearing number 19. He's 5'11", 181-pound senior from Albuquerque. Or is that Jim Wolverton? They'll bring in Jim Wolverton instead. So Wolverton comes in, and I thought they might see Maloof out there because he is a great story. You know, the Maloof family from New Mexico, very, very strong politically here. His mother is on the Board of Regents at the University of New Mexico. But Jim Wolverton will come on for Phil Vinson.
Well, Mike Knowles said before this game he'll probably play all three quarterbacks, Phil Vinson, Phil Maloof, and Mr. Wolverton, who's in the game right now. And Wolverton, the freshman, gets the call as the first guy out of the bullpen.
He's a redshirt out of Ogden, Utah. And a flag goes flying immediately for Jim Wolverton. 8:07 to play here in the first half, and the Bulldogs dominating the early going 21-0.
Well, it's tough coming off the bench, getting the cadence correct, and having that offensive line come out in sequence, and they couldn't do it correctly. And now he'll be looking at 1st and 15 and a Bulldog rush if he decides to throw the football.
1st and 15 from the 23.
Here we go, defense.
Jim Wolverton.
Wolverton will go with Johnson as his I-back. McDew remains the fullback, and Thomas goes in motion. And this is Johnson sweeping right, nailed about the 25-26 yard line. Boy, was he hit hard. Marvin Johnson on the carry. There's Jim Wolverton, redshirt as a freshman last year, but he was a starting quarterback at Bonneville High School in Ogden, Utah. And led the team to a 2nd and 3rd place finish in the state playoffs. Threw for over 2,200 yards 2 seasons ago in high school. And now faces the toughest task he has ever seen in his young collegiate career, going against the best defense in the conference, and he tries the middle with a running back, and there's not much there, and it's 3rd down and about 8, maybe 9 yards to go.
Well, with the legal procedure call, he had to look at 1st and 15, and 2 rushes later he's looking at 3rd and 9. And with the freshman quarterback in there, I think Mike Knoll wanted to get his feet wet before he threw the football, but at 3rd and long, you got to figure he's going to go up top, and his best receiver is number 18, Benny Thomas.
So let's see if Wolverton goes to the air here on 3rd and 8. Ron Cox is lined with the right side, and here he comes. And down goes Wolverton. First passing attempt, Rogeroli wraps him up.
I don't think it matters who the quarterback is. You have 3 quarterbacks on the roster, and Mike Knoll will play them all today, or figures to do so. But when you have an offensive line that's just outmanned by a good Bulldog defense, you don't have a chance. In '77, Rogeroli was there, but if it wasn't Rogeroli, Terry Cook was there, and Ron Cox was there. It's just a ball to play defense at this situation.
Garrett Henson sends it to Pickens, who has to fumble the football. A struggle for it, and let's see if the Aggies have recovered. Pickens didn't want to even get the football, but as soon as it hit, it nailed his knee. He fell on it, juggled it, and then the Aggies were all over him. And they're saying it's New Mexico State football. So Dwight Pickens' recovery goes in vain as New Mexico State.
Bobby Cox has the recovery. That's the second one. Barsotti fumbled earlier. The defense was able to move up a notch and take over and control. In this situation, another muff punt. Pickens backing up, tried to get away from the ball, and it just hit his leg, and it's a free ball. And massive humanity, and the Aggies come out of there with their 2nd fumble recovery of the afternoon. Let's take a look at it from another angle. Pickens really wanted to get out of there. He should have run out of there rather than just backed out of there.
So Wolverton has another chance. Fires the football incomplete right side, 2nd and 10. It was almost like an avalanche roaring over Dwight Pickens' frame.
Now, normally when you get this kind of field position, you feel good about things if you're the offensive team. What I've seen out there today, I don't know that New Mexico State can move from any position on the field. With Wolverton in there, he just does not have enough help up front. They have to block people if they're going to score.
And I'm a little surprised that Phil Vinson came out, because Vinson wasn't doing a bad job while he was in there. Maybe it's just simply because he is a senior, and Wolverton, obviously the redshirt freshman, the future of this ball club. Mike Knoll There is no future with an 0-9 record and 4 wins and 38 losses in your career. McDo sweeping the right side. First down.
Bulldogs coming in on a pass situation, thinking about going after Wolverton. And a good job of blocking up front this time from New Mexico State, enabling McDo to get to the outside. They block off Naeem Shaw, and when he turns the corner before he's tossed out by Jeff Thiessen, he has 12 yards and a first down. A nice effort by Eddie McDo. He's a good-looking football player.
Well, they gave him 15 yards in the carry. That's his longest of his career. And it's a first down inside the 20-yard line. McDo again straightened up, pushed back after 2, maybe 3 yards.
Here by Eddie McDo.
So they have the football at the 15-yard line. You know, McDo rarely carried coming into this ball game. He's already hauled the football 10 times. It's mainly been Singleton or Marvin Johnson. McDo had been averaging right about 6 carries per game. Double tight ends. Second down. 8 yards to go. Here comes the rush. Here comes the pressure. Down goes New Mexico State. And the man on the blitz was Marquez Pope. And he was in on that tackle along with Zach Ricks.
And the key is timing. Pope, absolutely perfect timing from the blitz from his free safety spot, and he came in clean. And again, when Wolverton looked up, he had number 30 in his face.
Loss of 3 yards in the play. It will be 3rd down and 11. So Thomas and Warren come back in.
Mike Knoll looking for somebody 6'7" and 290 and on that line over there. Well, there's nobody there though.
They'll split out Williams again. He's a flanker right side. Blitz is on. Devon Edwards. The throw is in the air. Incomplete. Right side again. Wolverton just unloading it and letting it go. And they'll bring on Dot Lee.
Great strategy, though, Steve, to send everybody against a freshman quarterback with a weak offensive front and just have him run for his life, and he threw it away. That's all he could do, is throw it out of bounds.
Lee from the middle of the football field, 35 yards away. His last one was blocked, and this one is on the way, and it is good. So New Mexico State has cracked the scoring column. It is now 21-3. Fresno State has the lead with 4:27 to play in this first half. Fresno State lead to 18 points at 21-3. And it was set up by the fumbled punt by Dwight Pickens. Now trouble brews in the horizon again when they kick it off to Fresno State, because Kelvin Means and Tim Lewis, 2 fine return artists. Means, one of the top men in all of college football.
Means has been one of the underrated Bulldogs. He's scored some offensive touchdowns. He's given them a plus on kickoffs with big returns against Oregon State and San Jose State, with all the great names on the Bulldog roster. A lot of times you forget of Means, but he's had a great season.
Kelvin from the 11. 25-yard line. He's down there. So a return of some 14 yards by Kelvin Means, and Mark Barsotti charges back onto the field. He'll have 4 minutes and 22 seconds to work with in this half. And again, Craver comes out there with him. Dwight Pickens. So they have many of the first teamers out there, and that big, strong offensive line faced by a left offensive tackle, Phil Lujan, Paul Vial, Dave Ewing, Melvin Johnson, and Mike Faust. From the 25. Myron Jones, left side, short gain, maybe 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
To the credit of New Mexico State's defense, they've played hard. They're outmanned, but they've laid some pretty good hits on him. Myron Jones earlier in the game, and on Stephen Shelley when he was going out for a fairly deep pattern reception that he was not able to come up with it. The Aggies have played hard defensively this afternoon. They're just outmanned by a better Bulldog team.
Craver, not much there, and he only gets 1. So again, that defense really stretching it out, and it's Dickie Bell and Ryder able to contain the Fresno State backs.
You're right. They're able to stretch it out and widen the field and string out the running back. And you can see 53 Dunlap coming over there and help from a lot of other players. That's good defense. Going to force Barsotti to go in the air.
Kelvin Means goes wide to the right side. Craver's in the slot left. Barsotti will air it out again. The pass is complete. First down. 37-yard line.
Hopefully Dwight will be okay because he's getting up slowly, but that's the best throw of the afternoon by Barsotti, right on the numbers, and he got it there in a hurry. There's a lot of red jerseys around too. Number 40 Bobby Cox, who recovered that fumble earlier, was right there thinking about the interception, but a good strong throw from Mark Barsotti. Pickens is now running off under his own power, and that's a nice sight.
Barsotti's numbers for 40 yards. Still looking for his first touchdown pass in the game. He's had 2 runs by Craver and Jones, and of course the 75-yard punt return by Dwight Pickens. Left side again, intercepted, and a fine run back.
Michael Hall's had a good season here at New Mexico State, the cornerback. He had 2 interceptions earlier against Utah State in the game. This is his 8th career INT. And Barsotti locks in on 1 receiver out. In the left flat, Stephen Shelley, he had his tight end wide open over the middle, but he elected to go on the out pattern, and Mike Hall reads it perfectly and has the theft and an opportunity for the Aggies as they're down to the Bulldog 24-yard line.
He is regarded the team's best cover guy, and he showed it right there.
But had Barsotti looked off that receiver and gone back to the middle, Bartlesky was wide open downfield, no Aggie around him.
Hall is shaken up a bit. 25-yard line. They'll go with the run. Singleton escapes the corner, gets to the 20-yard line, and is knocked out by Ron Cox.
That's 3 turnovers now against Fresno State, 2 fumbles, and now the interception. Keep turning the ball over, you can make things interesting. That's one of the things that Mike Knoll knew he had to have happen for his team to have any chance at all. I'm not sure they still have a chance. They're still back by 18 points, a lot of time to play, but Bulldogs are playing into their hands with these turnovers.
Fumble has hurt them, and now the interception. Singleton again. Singleton fumbles the football, and Fresno State has recovered. The Bulldogs take over with 2:29 left in the half. David Shelton on the recovery.
That'll make Mark Barsotti feel better about things after he had the interception. Not a clean exchange between Wolverton and Singleton, and that ball was on the ground in a hurry. And David Shelton, who's played magnificent football all season long for Jim Sweeney, has the recovery and the first Aggie turnover of the afternoon. And Mike Knoll lets an opportunity, his team lets an opportunity slip away, and you can see he's kicking at the dirt on the far side.
He's going to run out of shoes after that because he has to be doing it all season long. Barsotti over the middle. Bartlesky, first down, leaps over 1 man, brought down to the 35-yard line.
Well, the coach saw what I saw. The tight end's been wide open, and this time, after Bartlesky was not thrown to on the earlier play, they elected to go to the wide out, and it was intercepted over the middle. There's nobody around. They're playing up front, and a lot of people are coming, and that middle is wide open for Bartlesky. And this could have been a big gain had Ragsdale not gone over and made the stop.
Dumps it off to Myron Jones. Jones to the 40, to the 45, and has the first down.
There's a flag, though, in the Bulldog backfield, and it's in a spot where you would detect holding most of the time. And it is against the Bulldogs.
Comes with 2:08 on the clock remaining first half. Fresno State leading 21-3. Aaron Craver scoring the first touchdown in a 19-yard run. Myron Jones in a 25-yard run, and Dwight Pickens in a 17-yard, 75-yard punt return.
It's nice to be on enemy turf, turn the ball over 3 times in the first half, and still lead 21-3. That's a comfort zone.
So from the 24, it's first down and 20. Barsotti will go with 1 lone setback. There's There's the draw. There's Jones. 30, 35-yard line, 40. Jones is cut down about the 42.
That was close to a touchdown for the Bulldogs. Myron was just about to kick it into high gear and turn to the outside. This is a thing of beauty. Some coaches call this the sprint draw. And Myron Jones, if David Ryder doesn't trip him up there, Mike Hall was the last Aggie, or Jones would have gone the distance.
Barsotti in trouble, escapes for the first down, but another flag goes down as Mark gets inside Aggie territory near the 46-yard line.
Flag on the play.
And again, it's in a spot where you would detect another hold, and Jack Gatto says yes, the second one on this drive against the Dogs. No matter how much you overmatch the other team, if you keep making mistakes, you'll leave them there at the end of the game. And you can ill afford to do this against the better teams, although you do have the conference championship at hand, so that makes things a little bit better. But New Mexico next week, you're not going to be able to make these kind of mistakes and get out of Albuquerque, not against this year's Lobo team.
Well, that will set up a second down and 14 after the offensive holding call against the Bulldogs. Penalties. Fresno State, one of the highest penalized teams in college football again this year. But you'll find most of your best teams are up in that category. They're mean and they're aggressive. Barsotti will scramble. He will get the first down. He's to midfield. Barsotti to the 40. 35-yard line, out of bounds near the 32. Oh, those quick feet have gotten him out of so much trouble this year.
And where did the Aggie defense go? They were all peeled back, looking at their receivers and running backs as they move Craver in the slot, and nobody's looking at Barsotti. There's not an Aggie in the territory. He's 25, 30 yards downfield. Now they finally react to it, and Ragsdale and Ryder, who've been the two best in the secondary today, finally bump him out of bounds. But that's not good defense, not at all. And a nice effort by Barsotti, taking advantage of an Aggie defense that was not aware.
It's a season-best 39-yard run for Mark Barsotti. Fresno State has a first down at the 31-yard line. And there's a timeout on the field. And right now, New Mexico State really just trying to get their breath. And
so's Mark Barsotti.
He has played well. And Jones, what is he, 2 yards shy of the 800-yard mark this year? While we pause in the action, would like to tell you that one of the crew is trapped on a dying planet. Not one of our crew, not Howard Zuckerman's crew, but on Star Trek, The Next Generation. That's tonight at 7 o'clock on your station, KMPH Fox 26. And the goal with Myron Jones. Big hole up the middle. Myron breaks that tackle. Outside he goes, inside the 20-yard line.
Huge hole in the middle of the football field for Myron Jones to operate with. Here's a back that was not healthy coming in. He's banged up against San Jose State, but he's run well this afternoon.
And he really has, and it's Jim Sweeney crossing up this football team. Jones with 84 yards rushing now and working as the clock is inside 1:30. Pass in the air intended for Stephen Shelley. Makes the catch, but out of the end zone. So it's incomplete with 52 seconds remaining in the first half. 21-3, Fresno State leading the Aggies. Football team who opened this season being buried by Oklahoma 73-3, and they have had trouble ever since. They've been close with Texas El Paso, losing 29-27, and had a great game with Long Beach State, losing 55-48. Mike Knoll has been troubled throughout this year, staring at 0-10. This is Jones, left side, cuts in. He's to the 10, he's to the 5, and out of bounds with 46 seconds remaining.
Is he slippery around the goal line, though? You just had the sense when you get inside the 20, Myron Jones somehow is going to find a way to go to the goal line. And Barsotti, number 11, may call on number 40 right here, who's had so much success the last couple of years finding pay dirt for Fresno State.
Goal from the 3.
96 yards rushing now from Myron Jones from the 3-yard line. Double tight end. This is Craver on the sweep. He dives. He's in. Touchdown.
Carried by Aaron Craver for the touchdown.
His 7th, 8th touchdown this year. He has 2 in this ball game. And Fresno State has pushed that lead to 27-3.
This time the Aggies in a goal line situation react well to the full house backfield, and Craver giving ground, Gets a couple good blocks on Biggs. The linebacker has to jump over the pile to get in. That's a nice effort from Aaron Craver. He deserved that score.
Steve Loop, point after, up and through. And the Bulldogs have pushed their lead to 28-3 over New Mexico State.
Score Fresno State
And
28, the Aggies 3.
Randy Rosenblum, you take a look at what this team has done inside the 20-yard line this year, and you knew they were going to score. 87% of the time they get inside the 20, they score. This is the 54th time they've been inside the 20, and they have 47 scores, either field goal or touchdown.
That's efficiency, and 28-3, and this has got to be tough for New Mexico State to get pushed around like this on their home field. Not a large throng. We talked about that earlier, but it's tough to play in front of the home folks and get beat. Although I will say this, Steve, their defense has tried about as hard as you can expect from a football team. They're just outmanned.
Steve Loop with the kickoff. He hits it well again. Johnson will bring it out about a yard deep, and he probably should not have done that, but he escapes now, and a flag goes down, and Johnson's to the 24-yard line.
Might be a face mask. As he was coming upfield, one of those Bulldogs reached out and grasped him by that face guard. You can see that Johnson saying, yeah, they got me by the mask. See if we can pick this up on the replay. Another penalty against Fresno State. 29 is Tony Brown, and he's the one that got him. Tony's brother, by the way, Patrick Brown, played here a couple years ago for the New Mexico State Aggies, and he got his name in lights a little bit there with the face guard penalty. Only a 5-yard infraction, though.
It's not a flagrant call. It's a high altitude, Randy.
Well, I think the Bulldog sideline might have thought it was fragrant.
Wolverton, trying the right side of the option, finds nobody to option it to, so eats it.
That was my best line of the year, actually.
It was a good one.
Well, we enjoyed it if no one else did.
Well, it was 28-3, the score, and Fresno State enjoying it. It's bringing smiles to the San Joaquin Valley. There's been plenty of reason to smile this year. Hey, some scores around the country. Texas Tech leading TCU 30-0. Memphis State ahead of Louisville 3-0. And that will end the first half of play. Fresno State leads the New Mexico State Aggies 28-3, and we'll talk with Jim Sweeney as quickly as possible. His troops very impressive. 2 touchdowns by Aaron Craver, another by Myron Jones, and then the long punt return by Dwight Pickens. And now Jim Sweeney joins us on the sideline. And Coach Sweeney, first question I'll ask you, once again, your special teams setting the tone for this football game.
Yeah, that was a great run back. It's one of the few middle returns we've called. I think it's maybe the first, second, or third middle punt return we call. It went off like perfection. Because we have been running so many sideline returns, they overplayed it and they blocked it real well. And of course, Pickens had that punter all alone. That was pretty hard for that guy to make that tackle. Too many turnovers, though. We had 3 turnovers, and football is a game of turnovers, and you can't sustain any momentum if you keep turning it over, so we'll have to straighten that out.
Coach, your defense was spectacular in that first half. Even with the turnovers, they were able to get it back for you.
Yeah, our defense is playing real well, and it's hard to be motivated. Not too many people down here to see the game, but I think our players are doing real well. Just got to play another half good and hard.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you in the second half. At halftime, Fresno State leading New Mexico State 28-3. Back with halftime. And Ralph, right after this.
We're at halftime with Fresno State leading New Mexico State 28-3. Joining us again from Las Cruces, our broadcast team of Steve Visiak and Randy Rosenblum. Fellas, we talked before the game. We said it was a mismatch on paper, but they don't play it on paper. They might as well have played this one on paper the way it's going. What do you think?
I guess they could have just mailed this one in, Ralph, because Fresno State is indeed dominating the football game. But what has been so impressive, certainly the ground attack, certainly the defense, but how about the special teams? The block punt, the return by Dwight Pickens, and just the coverage play, and Lance Oberparleiter, who is, in many people's opinion, the finest punter in the Big West Conference.
Well, Steve and Ralph, in every facet of the game, the Bulldogs have the Aggies outmanned, and that's apparent when you can turn the ball over 3 times, have bad penalties at times, and still walk off the field 25 ahead at intermission on the road. That's dominance. It seems to be and is a walk in the park for the Bulldogs so far this afternoon.
But despite everything, Jim Sweeney is not satisfied. He didn't like the turnovers and wants to play better in the second half.
Well, you can always play better. I mean, again, we talk about it, and we will talk about it continually if they can turn the ball over. And they did that 3 times, and with the penalties. But still, in all, you're ahead 25 points, so that's a good sign. Yes, they can play better, but it's tough to play better than this. It's a bad situation. There's not a lot of people here. It's tough to get motivated.
And you want to stay at a high level of football before the California Raisin Bowl, of course, in December.
All right, fellas, very good. Thank you very much. We'll see you in a few minutes. Now, when the Bulldog football halftime report continues, we'll have a news update and a profile of Fresno State's talented running back, Aaron Craver. We'll be right back. This week's player profile as we take a closer look at one of the top running backs in Bulldog football history.
3rd down and 5. Barsotti dumps it off to Craver. Trouble here. But he eludes the man, and look out, he's to the 40-yard line. First down to the 35. Once again.
Tailback Aaron Craver admits he was very nervous prior to his first game at Fresno State. Then he went out and carried the football 23 times for 124 yards and hasn't slowed down since. Craver has topped the 100-yard mark in 7 of the Bulldogs' 9 games this season, including an opening stretch of 4 in a row to set a school record. He has become one of Fresno State's most reliable offensive weapons, a role he relishes.
When it's 4th and 1 and Sweeney calls your number, I mean, it makes you feel good to know that he has enough confidence in you to get the first down. And I'm thinking of me as being a coach. When I call the play, I'm going, who's going to get this first down for me? And then when he calls my number, I'm going, well, I got to get this first down because he's relying on me to get it. So, I mean, it just makes you feel good.
He's gifted physically and emotionally, and he has the mindset of a great running back. He's fearless.
Craver teams with fullback Myron Jones to give the Bulldogs one of the best tandem of running backs in the West, if not the nation. And in spite of the fact he's on target to break several Fresno State individual rushing records, Craver's firm in his belief that teamwork is the key.
I've been getting a lot of carries, and you want to see other people get carries. And, I want to do well, but I want other people to do well, too, so everybody will be happy. And, it's just fun to see. And then it's like it's becoming a family, I think, our whole team, and it's just fun to see everybody doing well.
Craver has had great success bowling over tacklers and running through defenders. While he enjoys contact, Craver's also adjusting his running style.
That is my style, and I want to keep doing that, but sometimes I want to get out into the open field and start making people miss and, make those big runs. And because people are starting to expect me to try to run them over, because you see a lot of guys going towards my legs now, and I'm going to have to start making people miss a little more often.
How is this line? I mean, have you ever played behind a line that gives you this kind of stuff?
Well, no, I never played behind a line that blocks the way that they block. Well, I really only played behind one line before I got here, so these guys are great here. It makes it a lot easier for me. Even when there's not a hole where one's supposed to be, there's always another hole, maybe on the backside or something, so I'm always looking for that, too.
Obviously, Aaron Craver loves to run with the football, but he enjoys winning even more, and he's certainly been exposed to that.
Since me and Pickens and Burnett have been together, we haven't lost a game, and Oberparlater also. We haven't lost a game, and I wanted to kind of like keep that streak alive. I mean, my freshman year, we went undefeated, and we're undefeated now. So I'd like to just, go 12-0, and that'll be, something to always look back at when I have kids and kids have kids, It's just fun looking back at 2 undefeated seasons.
To Aaron Craver. Muscles by one man, gets the first down. What a run by number 5.
For the second half, we send you back to Randy Rosenblum at Aggie Memorial Stadium in Las Cruces.
All right, thank you very much, Ralph. A beautiful day, the mountains, the scenic view for everybody. But back here at Aggie Memorial Stadium, it was a first half that belonged to the Bulldogs. Aaron Craver got him on the board first, a 19-yard touchdown gallop. But his partner in the backfield, Myron Jones, not to be outdone, cutting one inside, then back outside for 24 yards and the touchdown, and it was 14-0 Fresno State. The highlight offensively, special teams, first half, Dwight Pickens, the return, the great move there, losing Garrett Henson, the place kicker and punter, and he left him in the dust for a 75-yard touchdown, and it was 21-0 in favor of Fresno State. This is the record breaker for Aaron Craver, a 12-yard deep pitch around the right corner for a first down at the point of attack. He was able to break through the line of scrimmage and set the all-time single-season record. Craver able to carry it 8 times for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. His second touchdown closing out the scoring in the first half from 3 yards. A difficult task going up over the pile into the end zone. Craver 2 scores, 65 yards. Bulldogs leading at intermission 28-3. The only score for the Aggies, a Dot-Lee field goal. First downs in the first half, Bulldogs 10-4. Look at the yards rushing. Not much of a passing attack for either side, but the yards rushing, the difference. The Dogs turned it over 3 times, but they were too tough on the ground and too tough defensively. Fresno State is leading at half, 28-3. We'll have the second half kickoff from Aggie Memorial Stadium after this.
Second half action. Fresno State leading New Mexico State 28-3, and Steve Loop kicking off. It is taken by Warren at the goal line. Tries to go left, finds an opening, and gets out near the 17-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Aggies. And let's see who they go with at quarterback. They started the game with Phil Vincent. They went then with Jim Wolverton. And he led them to a field goal, only on a punt return that was fumbled by Dwight Pickens. And to start the second half, it will be Phil Vincent back in there. The young man out of Los Angeles, Hamilton High School, and came into this game throwing for over 1,500 yards and 9 touchdowns. Well, he'll get the start here in the second half from the 17-yard line, drops back to throw, rolls to his right. Here comes Ron Cox, and down goes Vincent. Man, that is quick. The blocker had him tied up, and then Cox just exploded like out of a cannon and was all over Phil Vincent.
This is a big league effort for Ron Cox. Able to play off the block. Apparently we don't have it on the replay, but Cox drilled Phil Vincent. Now we're going to get a look at it. Remember, Vincent is an elusive guy in the open field. He plays off the block one-on-one, but he's just an attacker. And Vincent has nowhere to go as Cox throws him to the ground.
Loss of 10, 2nd down and 20. Handoff Singleton, not much there as he crosses the 10-yard line, and Cox again there on the tackle.
We should relay the information that Cox is one of 5 finalists now for the Butkus Award. In itself, reaching the final 5, I guess you can relate that to a team award, reaching the final 4 in basketball. But to get to the final 5 in the Butkus Award balloting, that's a great honor in itself for Ron Cox, only a junior.
A guy like Percy Snow, it's great company to have, and many feel that Percy Snow may have the edge on everybody else in the country to win that honor. But he plays at a high-profile school like Michigan State. From the 11-yard line, 3rd down and 16, rushes on, down he goes again. Ruggiero was there, and so was Zach Ricks.
Where was the blocking? You have to lay a glove on somebody. These guys got in there so fast, Vincent has no chance. See how many steps. 1, 2, 3, boom. 3-step drop, and there are 4 Bulldogs on you. You can't do it if you don't have any blocking up front.
And now Hunter Henson really in trouble back near his own end line, and Pickens is up near the New Mexico State 40 to receive. He hits it well, though. He really drives Pickens back to his own 36. Dwight tries the left side. He has some blockers. He has a sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds near the 50-yard line. Timeout on the field. 12:45 to play in the 3rd quarter. 28-3 Fresno State. They'll start from the New Mexico State 49-yard line. Once again, their defense setting the stage twice, sacking quarterback Phil Vincent and causing Henson to really have to punt the football from deep in his own territory. First carry is taken by Aaron Craver down to the 45-yard line, gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 as Barsotti gets the signals from the sideline. But Henson, that was a career best 58-yard punt. Still, the football team defensively has to start at midfield. Craver goes in the slot right side. Jones is the back. Myron tries the left side, and there's a flag down as Myron leans forward to the 45-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 5, or the penalty will be accepted.
Pretty good hit by linebacker Sam Dickey. Another holding foul on the Bulldogs, and they've been detected for that on 4 or 5 occasions today. But you saw a good tackle by Sam Dickey, the weak side linebacker, number 43. He's a 4-year starter. There he is, the captain of the defense. Had 147 tackles coming into this game this year for the Aggies. In fact, the last 3 years he's had 100 or better. So he's a special football player. Had 23 tackles in one game last year against Las Vegas. But Mike Knoll does not have enough Sam Dickey's on his side.
Well, it's a holding call against Fresno State, and that'll put the football back at the 45-yard line, inside the 45. And Barsotti will head up to the line of scrimmage and again go with one lone setback and have Burnett and Craver wide right and Shelley to the left. He will go Shelley's way. Again, it's too tall, and it's incomplete. It's 3rd down and 16 yards to go.
Mark just off target. His receiver was open, just a quick turn-in pattern, and it was there for him, and he just threw it high, and he's been throwing high today. That's a good way to get your receivers hurt, because that exposes their entire body when they go up the ladder.
Scores from around the Big West. San Jose State now leading Utah State 10-0 at the half. And Nevada Reno is ahead of UNLV 7-0 first period. That is always a good one. It's like San Jose State and Fresno State. Bulldogs need 16. Barsotti in trouble. Fires right, incomplete, 4th down punting situation. So Fresno State starts slowly here in the second half.
Well, the holding penalty is the one that really disrupted the drive. That was a smart play there by Barsotti with the furious pass rush, just unload and throw it away.
Lance Overparleiter. His last one is 48. His first one was recovered at the 3-yard line. And he lines this one and nails it good. About the 5-yard line, it's going to die there. And Overparleiter has done it again. 2 times he has punted the ball to the 3-yard line. Now this time it was on for a 53-yard punt. So Overparleiter, the star of the show, Fresno State leading New Mexico State by 25 points.
Just about on every situation, Mike Knoll saying, how do you block that guy? Cox is so good, even when you run away from Ron Cox, you have to block him. If you let him come free, he'll chase you across the field and get you too.
3rd down. Aggies need 6. Williams, tight end, goes to the left side. Vincent to throw. 3-step drop, throws it complete, out of bounds, 1st down. Nicely done to Alvin Warren.
Simple down and out pattern. A little bit better blocking in the front wall, and Vincent has this one right on target. Man-on-man coverage right into the fingertip grasp of Alvin Warren, and Tony Brown bumps him out of bounds.
He led the Aggies last year in receiving with 38 grabs for 462 yards. This year he's been limited to just 11 for 197, as most of the work went to Larry Harrison and Benny Thomas. Williams at tight end. Vincent to throw again. Completes the pass near a 1st down. And Richard Sanchez making the catch.
This is about all the Aggie offense and quarterback Phil Vincent has time to do. The short variety. Got to think, though, one of those corners are going to come up and gamble at one point, try to get one of those for an interception and a touchdown when you play that kind of short field. But a good throw there to Sanchez.
Gain of 9. 2nd and 1. Thomas in motion. This is Johnson, 1st down, 30-yard line, fumbles the football, but New Mexico State is there to recover at the 40-yard line.
Matt Rogers, the big right tackle, number 75, 6'4", 283-pound senior. Johnny on the spot. But this may be in the playbook next week for Mike Knoll against UOP. Fumble it forward, pick up yardage. Yeah, Marvin just lets it go through his hands, and number 75 says, yeah, this is an extra 7 or 8 yards the easy way.
So 1st down on this drive that started at their own 2-yard line. They've moved it out to the 39. Trying to confuse the Fresno State defense by switching that tight end Williams either from the right to the left. This time it's left-right, and again they go to Johnson, and he's fighting for yardage past the 43-yard line. So that young offensive line that is paced by center Matt Miles, just a sophomore at 247 pounds, is giving some good running room for Eddie McDew.
Eddie just trying to get his due here at New Mexico State. Wasn't a starter early in the year. Hard-working fullback, 12 carries, 36 yards. Not a great average, but he didn't have a lot of people helping him in front.
Vincent, incomplete, 47-yard line. Jim Sweeney was waving for the incompletion. And you know, Randy, when we came down in the lobby this morning at the Hilton Hotel where we stayed with Fresno State's football team, there was a young lady there to greet us. She had a dog whistle around her neck. She had dog bones for earrings, and that was Mrs. Dick. And she wanted us to say hello to her second grade kids at Marshall School in Fowler, which is just outside Fresno.
She leads Bulldog cheers in the classroom.
That's right. They say, what is the Pledge of Allegiance? And then they say, go Bulldogs. Benny Thomas is incomplete, 40-yard line. Good coverage by the Bulldogs.
Had a good throw. You're right, the coverage is excellent, but it is a good throw, and that would go as a near miss. This is about as good as you can throw this football. Just off the fingertips of Benny Thomas, working against Tony Brown.
So it's 4th down, and New Mexico State has a block punt in each of their last 2 games. The last one resulted in a touchdown by Fresno State after James Williams blocked the punt. Pickens will try it again. He has a 75-yarder already. He has a chance at one more. He's to the 50. Pickens breaks the tackle. Pickens is knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Dwight Pickens. He has 1 for 75, and he has another long run here. 59 yards on the return by number 2.
Last time it was great blocking.
This 3rd quarter, Dwight Pickens after a 59-yard punt return, and Fresno State has a first down now at the 18-yard line after an Aaron Craver run. Craver again remains the I-back. Adrian Cooks is the fullback, and Craver tries the right side, 20-yard line, 15, run down, 13-yard line.
Not so easy, though. That second effort got him inside the 10-yard line with Jeff Hughes holding on. And Aaron Craver is a load trying to tackle him. And the New Mexico State defense, you're right, Steve, they hit him at the 13, but he put the back to him and just put those strong legs into the ground and drove them backward. That's a heck of a run by Aaron Craver.
Well, a lot of records have fallen. Most of them have been accepted by number 5, Aaron Craver, but also they've broken the single game punt return record for a game set by Dwight Pickens today with 152 yards. Breaks Stephen Baker's record back in 1986 against Montana State, where the touchdown maker had 117 yards in punt returns in a game. There's a first down for Fresno State.
That's Adrian Cooks, his second carry on this drive. So Myron Jones, after a fine effort in the first half, now he's back on the field, had been getting a breather. Now I'm not sure if Myron's going to stay in the game, but Cooks is a very able backup fullback, and apparently they're both going to stay there. They're going to go into the full house backfield, which has been so effective for Jim Sweeney's offense all year long.
Jones, Craver, flank, Adrian Cooks, and Barsotti rolls out. He looks, he fires a football. It's incomplete, intended for Bump Novacek. And Randy Rosenblum predicted before this game began that Bump Novacek would have his first touchdown ever, and he almost got it.
Well, he was the tight end that was the plan guy there. I think Barsotti really should have run the football. With that pass play not developing, he had some room to get it inside the 5, and I think if Mark had another opportunity to look at that one again, he would have tucked it under.
From the 7. Craver to the 5, struggles to the 4.
This is 4-down territory, though, with Sam Ostrino holding on underneath number 99. I think Jim Sweeney knows that he's got 4 downs to slug it into the end zone, and he took a pop at it on first down with the throw. This is 3rd down at the 3.5-yard line, but that's still 2 more downs to try to pop it in the end zone.
Double tight end, Bump Novacek right, Bartlesky left. They give it to Jones. He looks, he tries, but he will have no gain. The Aggies have not given up at all. Sam Ostrino leading the way, big number 99, and getting help from Sean Moore, number 77.
Well, that play didn't develop, so that's going to bring the place kicking team in. 77, Sean Moore, going to come up. Also Sam Dickey, the linebacker, number 43. No running room at all. The Aggies played well on that particular sequence.
So loop from 21. It is up, and it is good. And Fresno State, with 5 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the third period, has taken a 31-3 lead over the New Mexico State Aggies.
Getting a workout, though, if it's doing exercise after each touchdown or each score. You know, some of the different stadiums you'll go into, and the mascots and cheerleaders will do those sit-ups whenever they score points. And I'm sure the Bulldogs happy they don't. The Bulldog, anyway, is happy, and he doesn't have to do any sit-ups after scores today. They already have 31 points.
Short drive by Fresno State, 26 yards, loops field goal. And here's returned by Alvin Warren. Slips down at the 23-yard line, and that is where New Mexico State will start their offense here in the third period with just inside 5 minutes to play. Mike Knoll, the head football coach of the Aggies, 4 wins in his 4 years here. And he will send Phil Vincent out to tell his troops how he wants to attack Fresno State. And Mike Knoll, you have heard all the rumors about how he may be leaving at the end of this season. It has been a struggle for him. And this is a program. They have a beautiful facility here. And New Mexico, the state, is a difficult place to get recruits. They have to get them from Texas and from California. Jim Williams on first down gets another first down at the 38-yard line. But they're really trying to get this program back on their feet. But part of the reason is not Mike Knoll's fault.
And another part of the reason is not the fault of Phil Vincent. He's doing everything he can. He has very little time. And again, this is right on the numbers, right on the fingertips for his tight end, Jim Williams, coming in with 36 catches. But it's just a matter of not blocking up front. Vincent has had very little time all afternoon.
So from the 38-yard line, they'll send 2 receivers off to the left side. Williams remains the tight end to the right. Johnson. He has an angle, but down he goes as Ron Cox smells him out. 41-yard line. Good play. You know, we were talking about part of the problem is not Mike Knoll. We'll take a look at this.
The problem's Ron Cox. Look at this. He's just going to diagnose the whole play and run down the back. It's really unbelievable to see a linebacker come across the field like that and make a crushing hit. He just runs down Johnson.
Part of the problem this year and in years past has been the athletic department's commitment to football. They have really not given them the kind of money they need to recruit the kind of players to win in the Big West Conference. Singleton off the left side for a short gain. When you define money, it's the money given to the football program so they can make the phone calls to certain athletes, so they can travel to watch high school football players and compete in the Big West Conference.
Well, Ball State, Steve, has beaten Eastern Michigan 23-17. So Ball State now has the inside track to meeting the Bulldogs in the Raisin Bowl.
One of 4 teams from that league has a chance at meeting Fresno State in the California Raisin Bowl in December. Sanchez in motion. Johnson with the run. Johnson across the 45-yard line. But it will be well shy of the first down. And New Mexico State must punt that ball again.
We get to look at Dwight Pickens now, who's had a field day. Brought one back 75 for a touchdown. His last try was a 59-yard punt return, which set up Steve Loop's field goal. So it's excitement now with Dwight Pickens.
Well, they'll bring in Stephen Shelley this time.
Now they're going to rest him.
And Henson sends it into the air, and Shelley will take it. He says it's my turn from the 5. He's in trouble. Uh-oh. Fumbles the football. And are they going to say it is Aggies football? Flag goes down. And Shelley went down near the goal line.
See if it's a safety or not. I think that's the question. Did he fumble it? Was it a safety? What's the call?
The return of the fumble was by Dwight Pickens.
Well, Pickens apparently picked up the fumble. Well, at least that's what the public address says, but that doesn't seem right.
Dwight Pickens was on the sidelines, so the PA fellow just made the wrong call.
Wasn't it the PA announcer at the beginning of the game said Mark Barsoni was back to return, which was kind of interesting. Here we go. Here's Shelley on the return. Let's see if he does fumble before he goes in the end zone. That's a safety. That should be a safety. Of course, we have the advantage of the replay. It should be 2 points for New Mexico State because Shelley was tackled going back as he was giving ground.
Well, the first mistake he made was making the catch.
Right.
Anytime inside the 5-yard line, you let it go. Second mistake he made was going backwards. Third mistake he made was letting the ball go. And that means Dwight Pickens will probably be returning the next punt.
It should be a safety. Let's see if they get the call right. Of course, they don't have the replay.
Grounding the ball.
It's a safety. That's the call. He grounded the ball going down, but I think his knee was down as well, and it could have been a safety immediately. So it's 2 points for the Aggies.
Heads to the sideline. Fresno State still in control, leading by 26 points, but they will be booting the football to New Mexico State. And we have 2 minutes and 27 seconds left here in the third quarter. Fresno State is given their option from the 20-yard line. Do they want to kick off with Steve Loop handling those chores, or will they give it to the punter and have him kick it off from the 20-yard line? Fresno State says they'll go with Oberparleiter, who will boot that football from the 20. After the safety, an illegal forward pass by Stephen Shelley in the end zone results in 2 points for New Mexico State. Lance Oberparleiter has been given the football. And here we go. First safety against Fresno State this year. And it is pulled off by New Mexico State. And Sanchez brings the ball back out near the 39-yard line before he's knocked down by David Shelton. 2:22 remaining, third period. We've seen long touchdown runs by Fresno State, 19 yards by Aaron Craver. And Phil Vincent racing in with New Mexico State. Myron Jones had a 25-yard touchdown. Aaron Craver scored from 3 yards out, and a 75-yard punt return by Dwight Pickens. 31-3, Bulldogs lead. Vincent to throw again. Has his man Williams over the middle. First down inside Fresno State territory at the 47.
Jim Williams, a pretty good tight end. When you look at the all-conference teams, you might see him an honorable mention. Kind of lost in the shuffle here at New Mexico State, but he had caught 36 passes coming in, a converted linebacker, and he's had a good season. They say he's holding on to the ball. Last year he had a case of the dropsies, and he's able to get open in that zone coverage on that occasion and find a nice seam and get a first down.
Vincent's played well, and you're right, Randy. He has liked to go to his tight end tonight. Williams in motion again. They split him out a lot, and uh-oh, who's there? Ron Cox, 4 sacks.
Nobody blocked him. Now, how can you not block him? Again, I talked about this earlier. Even if he's on the opposite side of the diagnosed play. Now, this is a sprint out or a roll to the near side. But nobody lays a glove on Cox. In fact, Vincent didn't roll like he should have. You're going to see Phil pull back straight rather than roll to our right. He looks up and Cox is there. You got to block him. Somebody's got to hit him.
14 tackles today, 4 sacks, 26.5 on the season. And Phil Vincent going, hey, somebody block 54, please. 1:13 remaining. Here comes Cox again. It's almost intercepted by Devon Edwards.
What Jim Sweeney say? He detonates the area. You know, already this year he's been the conference player of the week 3 times. The numbers he's ringing up today would give him a 4th. At least you'd think that. What a hit that was. That could have been returned for a touchdown, but it wasn't. Cox is having fun and nobody's blocking him. Jim Williams, the tight end, let him go right by, and there's the ball up for grabs. You want to bet on who's going to be the conference player of the year?
Third down. A long ways to go. 17 for the Aggies. Vincent falls down. He says, I'm not going to let him hit me. I'm going down. It's 4th down, bringing the punting team. You know, Cox has had a splendid season, and along with that, he is a 4th-year junior, so he would be eligible for the supplemental draft. Now, I've talked to many people in the Bay Area, coaches in the NFL, who say Ron Cox should not go the supplemental route. They feel that Steve Walsh, who went the supplemental route, is partially blocked by Fresno State, but it will be Bulldogs football. But they were talking about Walsh losing perhaps $1 million extra that he could have gained had he remained at Miami this year and been eligible for the college football draft and been selected high. Now, certainly Ron Cox will be a first rounder this year if he was eligible for the draft. So he'll be going supplemental variety, but or had the opportunity to. But if he stays in school and goes a high first rounder next year, he might mean to Ron Cox an additional $400,000, $500,000. Well, new quarterback is on for Fresno State, and that is Eric Buechele. 9 of 11 through the air this year, completes his first pass, and it is Cooks near the 24-yard line.
Eric Buechele throws the ball very well. You know, back in his sophomore season, those numbers would illustrate that. 10 of 12 for the season. Long ago, it seems, in his sophomore year, he was the starter on 2 occasions against Washington State and UCLA. He lost those 2 games as starter, but he played well. Those were 2 tough assignments at Pullman and at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. But Buechele's an excellent drop-back passer.
Well, he hands the football to Adrian Cooks, who forces his way ahead up near a first down. He must get it out to the 38.5-yard line for the first down. And he gets it out near the 37. Buechele, you know, doing our stats today is Scott Johnson. And Scott, you know Eric very well. And I was wondering, when this season is over, would he consider trying out for baseball? You know, his brother plays for the Texas Rangers, third baseman Steve Buechele, who's a former All-American at Stanford. Well, we have a timeout of the field. That's because the 3rd quarter has ended. And Fresno State holding on to a 31-5 lead over New Mexico State. 31-5. We begin the 4th quarter of action. Eric Buechele at the controls. He has Bump Novacek in as his tight end.
He'll get a touchdown, right?
He'll get a touchdown. Number 37.
See Brian Lasho there, a junior. He plays center, play a little bit of guard for you. He's a pretty good offensive lineman. We'll see a lot of him next year.
There's some very fine red shirts. 3rd down, 1.5 yards to go. Tim Lewis, first down, Tim Lewis to the 44-yard line.
Talked a lot this year about Aaron Craver and Myron Jones, but nobody explodes to the hole any better than Tim Lewis. When he carries the ball, he's there so rapidly, and he's very difficult to deny positive gains on each and every occasion. He's been a very good player and a spark plug off of Jim Sweeney's bench.
Boy, they are deep there at running back. Ricky White can play. Sylvester Brumfield will probably see action today. Now they have Craver back in there with Cooks, and Cooks will get the call. The carry. He's out to the 50-yard line. He's to the 45 and knocks over some Aggies to get that first down. He just buried Lolo James. Parker Ragsdale, the free safety, finally had to help make the tackle.
You can just sense now the Aggies, a tired team, getting up a little bit slower defensively. The yards rushing, the big stat, 220 yards through 3 quarters for the Bulldogs. They're one of the premier rushing teams in America, and the Aggies don't stop it very often.
Aaron Craver, 20-yard line. He will go. Aaron Craver, touchdown. 47-yard touchdown run for Aaron Craver, and he has just set a Fresno State record of 8 100-yard rushing games in a season.
And 3 rushing touchdowns this afternoon. The maximum from the minimum. 13 carries, 132 yards, and this is an explosion for Aaron Craver. Well, we're not going to see it now, perhaps after the PAT, but Craver, a big job there.
I don't know how many times Myron Jones and Aaron Craver have broken through arm tackles up high. Well, they do it again here, and it results in Aaron Craver's 9th touchdown this year, and the Bulldogs 38-5 lead. 15, it results in this. Aaron Craver, 47-yard touchdown run. Breaks one arm tackle, and he is gone.
Well, the Aggies are just a tired football team defensively right now. They've been on the field a long time today, and they were really feeling the effects of it on that last drive.
So Steve Loop will try it again. (38-5), and Looper puts it through the end zone. Aggies will try it from their 20-yard line. And that might be the wisest decision made, because Loop has either kicked off and their returns have been short inside the 15-yard line, or Oberparleiter has had splendid punts driving them back. There you see it, 72-yard drive. It resulted in a 47-yard touchdown run by Aaron Craver.
5 plays, though, 72 yards in only a minute 15. And I just sensed it on the play earlier that the Aggies weren't getting up quickly, and they are a tired football team.
Jim Wolverton back quarterback for the Aggies.
Jim Wolverton back in. His pass is knocked down. Looks like John Goslin was the man who got his big left paw up and batted that ball down. Number 89. Watch it from the left side.
Highly regarded junior college transfer from Moorpark, and it was the right arm that knocked it down. And poor Jim Wolverton, he doesn't have the foot speed of his predecessor in there, Phil Vincent, and he has to hang in the pocket and just wait for those guys to abuse him. He doesn't have very much time to unload, and there's Goslin. He's going to be a good football player next year in his senior season.
You know, they flip-flopped him earlier in the year, tried him out at nose guard, then at end, but Terry Cook was so strong and so very impressive early that Goslin had to come off the bench to play. Goslin makes another tackle here, and New Mexico State is faced with a 3rd down, 15 situation inside of 14 minutes to play.
Pretty good effort, too, by the linebacker, Chris Peters, who has just come into the game. So Jim Sweeney and the whole gang giving everybody an opportunity to play, everybody who traveled. They know they have a mismatch on their hands, and they have really dominated the line of scrimmage.
Wolverton in trouble. Pass is intercepted and incomplete at the 5-yard line. Well, the gentleman who was able to corral it and almost pick it off was Chris Peters, the freshman from Redding, California, but he could not hold on.
Full with the tremendous pressure, and it's out in the flat, and Peters wasn't looking at the football. Well, he shouldn't have. He's looking at where the ball was supposed to go, to the running back, and it was thrown right at him. And Wolverton, no time to unload, and that time he threw it away, and he threw it right to Peters. And had Peters been looking for the ball, he would have had an interception and a touchdown.
Punt by Henson. Shelley will let this one roll. I don't want any part of that one. It's out of bounds, and Fresno State will again start in outstanding field position near midfield. It has been that way all afternoon long. Fresno State has had many opportunities, and they've taken advantage of all of them. They lead 38-5. (38-5). Fresno State running away from New Mexico State, literally. It has been Jones and Craver, another 200-yard effort by those young players. Aaron Craver has run for 137 yards, and Myron Jones 94. Jones had 95 at halftime, has run once for -1. Let's see if Myron is back in there. Yes, he is. He's the lone setback. And Bushell wants to go long, has a man out there, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Lolo James. And Lolo James is cut down near the 30-yard line, and the flag goes down.
Again, the strength of the defense is that secondary. This is the 3rd interception, provided it stands up of the year for Lalo James, and Bushell just underthrew Kelvin Means. Means was out there, ball just not thrown long enough. And Lalo playing the corner spot, able to get the interception. A junior out of Long Beach Poly. The interception's going to stand as a clip on the return. You know, James was considered one of the better freshman quarterbacks in America by Sporting News a couple years ago. And that's his 3rd interception this year. A good football player and a good interception there.
But even when they do things right, they do things wrong. They come up with a clip, a 15-yard penalty, and now they've got the ball in the 10 rather than the 30. And Mike Knoll is starting in poor field position again. Phil Maloof, the new quarterback. This is their third try. Started with Vincent. They went with a young freshman. Now they've gone to Phil Maloof. The young player we were talking about early, 5'11", 180-pound senior from Albuquerque. He's a great story. His mom is on the Board of Regents of their arch rival, New Mexico. He started his college football career there. They made him a safety. He didn't want to play defense. He wanted to play quarterback. Transfers to New Mexico State, so his mom contributes like $20,000 to the football organization, gets on their, what do they call it, the big booster program here. So she's on the booster program in New Mexico State. Board of Regents at New Mexico. She's loved and hated in both areas. This is Singleton, and Singleton may have received a face mask grab, which will result in a first down.
Well, true to his word, Mike Knoll has played all three quarterbacks now. Before the game, he said he would do that. This is a fun game for the Bulldogs now to play defensively because everybody's getting an opportunity. It's not a fun play because you can see the grab right there. An obvious infraction on that occasion by the Bulldogs' Antoine Holly, number 97. But everybody on the traveling squads in the ball game or has gone into the game at one point. One of the Bulldogs is down. That's number 45 for Fresno State. And that is Eric Tanavasa. And he's getting up slowly. Junior college transfer, linebackers, had a good season, but now seems to be shaking off the effects of that block that knocked him off his pins.
97. I got it for all of them.
But everybody gets to play, and this makes for great camaraderie on the trip back to Fresno. Everyone can talk about what they did on the field, and it's not just practice players now. The guys have been practicing hard all season long are getting an opportunity to play in game action.
12-10 to play in this ball game. Fresno State by 33. And New Mexico State again tries the right side. Short gain near the 30-yard line. Anthony Singleton on the carry. Fresno State trying to go 10-0 this year after a win today. Maloof, the senior. Singleton, another rugged effort, but he will be graduating this year and leaving those responsibilities to Marvin Johnson and Eddie McDew. McDew has been the most impressive runner in this ball game. And here's Johnson ridden down by David Shelton, but it's a first down for the Aggies.
Can't underscore it enough, though, Steve, but the problem here at New Mexico State is not in the skilled position spots. Singleton is an honorable mention, all Big West player last season. I think Marvin Johnson's a pretty good football player. The other running back, McDew, their wideouts. Vincent is impressive. The backup quarterbacks still have a way to go, but they're just getting beat in the front line, offensively and defensively. They need linemen if they're going to compete in the Big West.
Ron Cox has been the biggest headache for those offensive linemen in this game, and Ron is off on the sideline now, giving way to his fellow mates, and the tackle is made by Fresno State at near the 40-yard line. So they're working against the Bulldogs' second and third teamers. Fresno State trying to shut them out touchdown-wise. The Aggies have scored a field goal into safety.
And really the points scored, obviously the safety coming off the specialty team where Shelley was trapped for a safety. The field goal was set up by a fumble recovery, so the defense has shut down New Mexico State all afternoon.
Thomas in motion. Maloof to throw. Here comes Holly. The catch is made, and it's a loss in the play back near the 33-yard line. So it'll be third down and a long 13 yards to go.
Further illustration how the defense shortens the field. Had no place for Maloof to go. To his running back, probably shouldn't have caught the football because it's for negative yardage.
And number 30 right there, Marquez Pope, is turning into an outstanding safety.
Only a sophomore, so he has 2 more years to go.
Mike Richmond wide to the left side, bottom of your screen. Again, Thomas in motion. Maloof needs 13. Here's the pitch. Johnson turns the corner. Uh-oh. Here's trouble. Uh-oh again. And Johnson is out of bounds.
Carried by Marvin
He
Jones.
did a little zigzag and said, forget it, I'm out of here. So it's a 4th down situation, punting time for Garrett Henson, who came in averaging just under 39 and booted his longest punt of his career today, a 58-yarder. Good luck, Vince in Fresno. There are a lot of there's a lot of Fresno State fans here today, including New Mexico State announcer Jack Nixon, who wanted to say hi to the Tathams back in Fresno, and they are huge Bulldog fans. Shelley with an opening, and Steven gets it back up near the 44-yard line.
You know what he's thinking? He wants to make up for that safety, the mistake before. He nearly broke that one, Steven Shelley. It's easier to gamble, though, on a return when you're leading 38-5.
.153 today. His theme, cognitive dissonance. You can't be good unless you think you're good. And he thinks his team is pretty good this year. And so far, they have shown it. Leading 38-5 with 9:21 to play in this ball game. Eric Bushell back out at quarterback. Myron Jones will join him in the backfield, and you've got to believe, Randy, that that's to get Myron to the 100-yard mark. Jones the carry. Jones to 100 yards. Jones to the 40, and he powers his way inside the 35-yard line, and that may be the last time we'll see Myron Jones today.
Well, he becomes the 10th running back this year to rush over 100 yards against the New Mexico State Aggies. Craver did it earlier in this game, and now Myron's over 100. And 10 different running backs this season in 10 games have gone over 100 yards against the Aggies.
117 for Jones, 137 for Craver. Bushell to keep it on the ground. Ooh, nice hit by the Aggies. First man to greet him right there looked like Sam Dickey.
Carried by Sylvester Brumfield.
Sylvester Brumfield getting his first carry of this game.
2nd and 11 from the 34.
They'll be losing Myron Jones, but they'll be getting Craver back next year, and they've got some pretty good-looking running backs to replace him, like Ricky White, Sylvester Brumfield. That's the second time 2 Fresno State backs have gone over 100 yards in a game. Last time was the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. This time again, Brumfield carries inside the 30-yard line. And in that Vegas game, Craver went for 212, and Myron Jones went for something like 159. Scott Johnson immediately answering the statistics says, yes, you're right, 159. Just leave out the maybe next time. Hey, I'm doing all this on memory, pal. 29-yard line. Tim Lewis breaks free. Muscles his way past the 25-yard line near the 22.
Can't ask much more from Tim Lewis this season. Every time called upon, he's done something in a positive light. And there, you did not think at the point of attack he would get the first down, but he was able to back up and start that body in the right direction and get the first down. Excellent effort by Tim Lewis.
You're looking at Eric Bushell, and he'll throw the football. The catch is made. First down inside the 10-yard line. Lewis, who had lined up in the slot, makes the catch. They're trying to get that young man in the end zone. And even if you're a backup on Fresno State, you have to feel you've got to be ready at any time. Remember, Darrell Rossett in the California Bowl last year ran for 150 yards and wound up with the MVP trophy.
Well, every one of the Bulldogs have had their opportunity today, and I know that Eric Bushell would like to throw it in the end zone. He's a drop back throw, and he likes to throw it for touchdowns. As Mike Knoll looks on, and he's very disappointed, I'm sure.
Football at the 8-yard line. Trouble in the backfield, and a mix-up goes awry, and it will be a loss in the play. Second down and goal from about the 11, maybe the 12-yard line.
Again, there's a lot of different combinations. Probably haven't played those combinations in game action this year. And you can see that you will have situations where cross-ups will occur, and that would happen there.
Send Kelvin Means to the bottom of your screen. And they'll run the ball to Tim Lewis, 5-yard line, powers his way, touchdown. What great leg drive by Tim Lewis. And Fresno State has taken a 44-5 lead.
For the touchdown.
Well, Tim Lewis is rewarded for his efforts. He deserved that touchdown, his second of the year. And for Tim Lewis, 3 carries today, 26 yards. And he just underscores the depth at running back because he is outstanding.
There's the snap. The point is up. It is good. It's 45-5, and the Aggies 1 point away from giving up the most points allowed by an Aggie football team ever. It's a 40-point difference, and the Bulldogs are. Fresno State goes 57 yards in 7 plays. Tim Lewis, 11-yard touchdown run. It took just inside 3 minutes, and it is the Bulldogs to kick off. And the New Mexico State Aggies have given up 414 points this season. The record was set in 1986, where they gave up 416. They still have 6:28 left in this game and a ball game against Pacific next week to break that mark. Here comes Marvin Johnson out across the 20-yard line, out near the 21.
Return by Marvin Johnson.
I remember at the beginning of this year, Jim Sweeney saying, my expectation level may be unrealistic or it may be realistic. I do want the favorites role. I think his team can be very good. I think his expectation level was high, but it was realistic.
And remember the days when it used to be tough to win on the road? No more. They won at Stockton quite handily by 2 touchdowns, 27-14. Won 34-7 at Logan. That used to be a house of horrors for them. And to come in here to Las Cruces and dominate like this as expected, it's not supposed to be that easy away from home.
Singleton will stay in bounds, and that clock will run inside of 6:15.
The band is playing, and I don't know that they're supposed to do that during the game, but the sparse number of fans that are here, it's a diversion. I don't think they want them to see the football team the way things have gone. I hate to pound on this team like this because you know, a bunch of good people here, and they've treated us well. It's just unfortunate to watch them get clobbered like this, even though if you're a Fresno State supporter, you like to see a little bit more competitive football.
Well, Randy, you're a call him like you see him kind of guy, and here is New Mexico State pushing the football up near first down after the 2nd down and 4 try. John Goslin was one of the men up there for the tackle, bringing down Eddie McDew. Bulldogs will play New Mexico next week in Albuquerque. That ball game will be televised on KMPH, so tune in.
And that will be a lot more competitive than this game, I can assure you of that. However, last time we took a look, New Mexico is trailing 35-23 in the 4th quarter at Salt Lake City against Utah.
McDew again trying the middle to the 35-yard line. And Randy will be joined by Mike Schumann that afternoon. Now I have some Golden State Warrior responsibilities. We're on the road with the Atlanta Hawks. So it's 5 minutes to play here in the ball game. The visitors, Fresno State, leading the new home team, New Mexico State Aggies, 45-5, and the Aggies staring in the face of their 26th straight Big West loss.
And their 16th straight loss, which is the longest in the country.
Maloof downfield. He had a man open, but it's incomplete. Taylor Cooper with a good coverage on Mike Richmond. That stops the clock at 4:38 to play. You know, you just are surprised. Well, maybe not surprised anymore because you see it so often. But the way that Fresno State gives themselves good opportunities early in the game to win games. Over-Parlighter so many times this year after a punt has given the offense for the other team bad field position to start with. The special teams blocking punts. And the defense, which has been so brilliant over the last 2 seasons, to give Fresno State 2 consecutive Big West Conference championships. Todd Cutler, the intended receiver, incomplete.
And on a 3rd and 7, Maloof forced to throw the football here quickly off his wrong foot and threw it right into the ground. Wanted to go to his tight end Cutler, and 2 Bulldogs right there. And 12th punt today for the Aggies ties another record. All the negative records are either broken or tied today by the Aggies.
Shelley lets it go, and it will roll near the 10-yard line. Still rolling inside the 9 to the 8. So an excellent punt by Garrett Henson of 57 yards. He has a 58-yarder in this ball game and now a 57-yarder. And the Bulldogs take over with 4:19 to play, 45-5. And there's the biscuit man, Melvin Johnson. Call him Biscuit because he's a biscuit shy of 300 pounds.
I'm not sure if that nickname applies anymore. I think he's over 300, isn't he?
I tell you what, he can play for me any day of the week. This guy's a redshirt freshman, is going to be a force in the Big West in the future.
He already is a force today.
Ricky White turning the corner out to the 10, the 11-yard line. Watch number 23 not only in this game but in the future. He too a redshirt freshman and has some explosive wheels on him, and perhaps when Aaron Craver graduates next year, Jim Sweeney will hand the football to number 23, Ricky White. Oh, he has some weapons to use. Buechele standing in the pocket, standing well down the field, completes the pass, first down, Fresno State. And there's a loose ball and a scramble for it out near the 28-yard line. But the Bulldogs come up with it. And it's Brian Burnett recovering. There's another young man who will probably wind up as a starting wide receiver next year.
Good patience by Buechele here. He just waited and waited for his tight end, Marty Thompson, to get open. And finally was able to find him and throw it for a first down on the fumble recovery, and Burnett gets it. And Mike Knoll says even when we force a fumble, we can't get a break.
Shadows creep over Aggie Memorial Stadium. And Buechele wants to keep it on the ground. Ricky White tries to escape outside, breaks another tackle, and a good gain for Ricky White out near the 35-yard line before he is dropped by Ty Bell.
Well, when you haven't played much all year long, you're excited to play, and Ricky White is, and he's going to run out of a couple tackles. This is just hard running, and he broke the tackle of Sam Dickey, one of the better linebackers in the league, and he ran out of his shoe. That's good hard running by Ricky White.
And then he has to leave the game because of that. Chris Gawley goes wide left. Tim Lewis will come to the right, and Brumfield will be the lone running back. Brumfield gets it. Sylvester up the field. He's up near the 45-yard line, and Sylvester has the first down, but a flag goes down near the offensive line.
Steve, remember all that publicity we heard about Mike Pringle last week and getting the extra 5 yards for Cal State Fullerton, and Gene Murphy trying to send him back into the game, or should have, and he never did? It's all secondary now. Anthony Thompson of Indiana today set an NCAA record with 377 yards rushing in a 45-17 victory over Wisconsin. We're just into that now.
I tell you what, I think he should get the Heisman Trophy now. I know Andre Ware has had a great year. Tony Rice has had a good year, not a great year. But that young guy playing for a football team that is not that talented in a major conference, going up against great defense every week, and runs for 377 yards, he's probably going to wind up getting the Heisman Trophy after that performance. Brumfield again. Brumfield out near the 30-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in this ball game. The Bulldogs leading New Mexico State 45-5.
There's Sylvester Brumfield. By the way, Thompson's record today breaks Mike Pringle's effort of 357 yards against these Aggies last week for Cal State Fullerton. And Reuben Mays, while he was at Washington State, ran for 357 yards against Oregon on October 27, 1984. But today's Anthony Thompson's day.
The ink wasn't even dry yet. And poor Pringle. Buechele fires. It's incomplete on third down, and it's a punting situation for Fresno State. Hey, we've got some scores for you from around the Mid-America Conference and the country. Ball State took Eastern Michigan 23-17. Ohio University lost to Central Michigan 24-15. And with the league race looking like this, Eastern Michigan is now 6-2. Ball State is now 5-1. Central Michigan is 5-1, so Ball State and Central Michigan have the edge going to the California Bowl. Bowling Green beat Western Michigan 31-30. Western Michigan was in the California Bowl last year. Sanchez comes up the field and moves his way out near the 40-yard line. 1:18 to play in this ball game. Fresno State clinging to a 40-point lead. So it appears right now that these are the 4 schools that Fresno State will play in the California Bowl in early December. Eastern Michigan, Ball State, Central Michigan, or Toledo. Those 4 still have a chance.
I thought maybe all 4 would come here and come to Fresno and try to team up and beat the Bulldogs. That's what it might take, the way this Fresno State team has been playing this year.
Toledo is losing to Northern Illinois at the end of the near the 4th quarter, 39-27. Maloof from the 37. Maloof is sacked and he escapes. He's going for the home run. And it's broken up at the 20-yard line. Big West race looks like this. Fresno State 7-0. 10-0 in overall play.
Well, this is a nice effort by Maloof. Scrambling out of the pocket. Throwing into double team coverage for Alvin Warren, Marquez Pope, and Taylor Cooper over there. They had a blanket on him. Warren made a nice effort for the football. Got a note there when the Bulldogs are coming home tonight. We ought to cheer them on in Fresno the way they've played. They'll arrive around 8:30 this evening. And Scott, since he's right here, right this announcement, they deserve a welcome. They certainly do. They've played well on the road this year. They're 3-0 on the road and 10-0 overall, as you said. Then they got the regular season finale next week at Albuquerque against the Lobos.
4th quarter of action. San Jose State is leading Utah State. The Spartans in 2nd place in the league. And should they win today over Utah State, their record will be 4-1 in league play. But Fresno State would wrap it up. Nevada Reno hammering UNLV 24-0. And there are rumors that Wayne Nunnally's job is in the line and that he had to beat Nevada Reno to save it. 1:02 remaining. Maloof hands off to big Anthony Singleton. Singleton breaks tackles and is across the 50-yard line. Down inside Bulldog territory. But the big story today in the nation, Anthony Thompson of Indiana set an NCAA record with 377 rushing yards in a 45-17 win over Wisconsin. Bill Mallory just handing it off to Anthony Thompson.
And you know who feels best in the country about that record? Gene Murphy. Not having to hear about why my guy didn't go back into the game. Wouldn't have mattered if he went back in the game now, because Thompson has a good, strong record.
Hey, Gene Murphy's a heck of a guy, and he had the game already in hand and was just
trying to help his kids. He wanted his players to play, that's all. But the monkey now is certainly off his back as Thompson establishes the record of 377, and that's 20 yards better than either Pringle or Mays had done previously.
A couple of other final scores. Nebraska beating Kansas 51-14. Missouri losing to Iowa State 35-21 after Mizzou had an early lead. Mississippi State over Tulane 27-7. Colorado finally hammering Oklahoma State 41-17. Maloof, 29 seconds left. He wants to go deep again on 2nd down, and the pass is knocked down. Intended for Benny Thomas. Other scores, Air Force losing to Brigham Young in an exciting contest. 4th period, BYU 38, Air Force 35.
Two good quarterbacks there, Ty Detmer of the Cougars and D. Dallas of Air Force. Remember when D. Dallas was thought of as a Heisman candidate early in the year? He's kind of fallen off.
It's another exciting one. Utah 38, New Mexico 36, 4th quarter. Mike Knoll, his team lost to New Mexico earlier this year and lost to the University of Texas El Paso. They're 2 big rivals. They have watched Fresno State come in here this afternoon and blown out his Aggie football team. They lead by 40 points. Bulldogs 45, Aggies 5. And the clock winding down. And they will just let the clock wind out and end this football game. And end the misery for Mike Knoll. His team falls to 0-10. Fresno State pushes the record to 10-0. One of only 4 unbeaten teams in college football. Mike Knoll will congratulate head football coach Jim Swinney of Fresno State. The Bulldogs win their 10th. And we'll come back with final comments of today's football game. Fresno State winning 45-5.
left in the regular season. Joining us now from Las Cruces, the head coach of the Big West champions, Jim Sweeney. Coach, it's now 17 victories in a row. A lot of highlights today. Give us some of them as you saw them. What are the high points for you?
Well, I thought the punt return game was exciting on a couple of occasions. I thought that was a key return that Pickens made. And he's not hurt. He's strained his knee a little bit, but I think he's all right. And I thought Timmy Lewis ran well. I thought probably the highlight of the game was the running of Myron Jones. He ran real well. We kind of battered them. You know, they're not a very big football team, but they were up there stopping the run, and we didn't pass the football probably as well as we could have. Overall, I'm glad to get in here and get out of here. I thought our defense played well. Occasionally, they made a first down, but I thought our defense played pretty well, pretty aggressively all throughout.
You got to see a lot of players. That's good for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see that everybody got a chance to play more than a little bit. Defensively, we used a lot of people. Offensively, we used a lot of people also. Sylvester Brumfield, you know, the Ricky White, some of those kids getting in there, that was real good for them.
Okay, Coach, congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll give you some of the numbers we have on today's game. Aaron Craver, 2 touchdowns, 137 yards. His 8th 100-yard rushing game of the season to set a new school record. He also breaks the single-season rushing record now with 1,198 yards. Myron Jones, 117 yards and a touchdown on a 25-yard run. Dwight Pickens goes over 160 yards in punt returns to break Stephen Baker's single-game record. Pickens also ran one back 75 yards for a touchdown. And Ron Cox gets 4 more quarterback sacks, adding to his nation-leading total. Now the Bulldogs fly back home, arriving at Gate 12 of the Fresno Air Terminal about 9:20 tonight, so you might want to go out and greet the team. Ironically, they have to turn around and fly back to the land of enchantment for next Saturday's regular season finale against the University of New Mexico. That game will also be televised by Fox 26, beginning with the pregame show at